Good evening and welcome to Silver Creek Leadership Academy's Expo. We're going to be highlighting our capstone projects tonight, and we are so excited that you're here with us. I'm Carrie Adams, and I'm the program director of the Silver Creek Leadership Academy, and I'm excited to be sitting next to the instructor of our 12th graders and my good friend, Lauren Kohn. Welcome, Lauren.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited about this year. We have 42 capstone projects that the students are working on. And what's really exciting is we've finally gotten a chance to get back into our groove a little bit. We now are able to get out into the community a little bit with restrictions, of course, but it's just making this year already so much better.
So true. Well, tonight, let's just get started. I want to introduce our two interviewers today because, you know, it's COVID. And so first of all, thank you so much to Gloria Neal. She is the Director of Public Affairs for Mayor Michael Hancock's office, a former news anchor. We adore Gloria. She's done a great job for us in many years in the past, and we're excited to have her back again. And also joining us this year as an interviewer, Michelle Sulik. She's from Elevations Credit Union. She's very active in our community and a Silver Creek mom, and an SCLA mom. So she knows
two amazing women.
Yeah, two great ladies ready to talk to our kids and highlight the great work that they're doing. We're also super excited about all the people who support us, not only the mentors and the community organizations that our students are working with, but some local businesses like Sticker Giant, who's always provided great stickers to our kids.
Absolutely.
SCASMA, who always does great work with us. PostNet, who helps design and help things with the kids. Lead for Change, we're excited to be part of that organization this year. The St. Vrain Valley School District, of course, we couldn't do anything without them, and our Silver Creek High School administration and teaching staff, custodial staff, and everyone, all of the support staff. And finally, Trenton. Thank you, Trenton, for Hoshiko, one of our alum and the owner of Modern Icon Media, who's doing all of our tech work for tonight. So without any further ado, let's get this party started.
Here we go.
Did you know that women currently only make up 27% of the total STEM field, 13% of engineers, and only 25% of computer and mathematical scientists? These shocking statistics inspired me to create my SCLA Capstone project GEMS, which stands for Girls in Engineering, Math, and Science. My name is Bindseil, and I participated in competitive Rex Robotics throughout middle school and currently have an engineering internship at the Innovation Center. These experiences inspired me to work with Mr. Hernandez's 6th grade technology class at Westview Middle School, sharing my own experiences as a girl interested in STEM and leading fun engineering activities with the girls that will hopefully spark an interest in the field. I've already been able to form some great connections with the girls, and my first few STEM activities were a success. In the future, I plan to introduce some computer-aided design programs and coding. I want to give these middle school girls a role model to look up to and show them that they are just as capable of anything that their male classmates are. I look forward to supporting these girls throughout their endeavors in engineering, math, and science.
Tell me about your project.
My project is called GEMS, which stands for Girls in Engineering, Math, and Science. And I'm working with a 6th grade technology class at a local middle school in order to spread awareness about getting more women involved in engineering and math and doing fun STEM-related activities with the kids that will hopefully spark an interest in the field.
Why is that important to you?
Well, I have been involved with the engineering and math field for a very long time. I did competitive VEX robotics throughout middle school, and I now have an engineering internship at our local innovation center. And doing that throughout the years and being one of the only girls on my robotics team or being one of the only girls in my internship has really made me passionate about getting more women involved into the science, technology, engineering, and math fields because women have such a great perspective to share, and I think that we need to be more inclusive for them.
I absolutely agree 155%. I can tell you for every one of you, I have heard stories from women, and I'm talking women in PhD programs who have said, you know what, I was in STEM, but there was one professor or one fill in the blank who said, you know what, you're doing okay, but I don't think this is really going to be the best, the best major for you. And, just like that, they just dropped it and went to something else because they felt like they were not going to be supported. The more we see ourselves there in it, doing it, the better off the entire world will be.
I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I like you even more. but, but no, it is true. So that drive, and when you see that, because in many times adults who are in positions to help us, they can also hurt us, even go as far as become dream killers. What do you tell young girls who may be struggling and they don't really want to raise their hand, even if they know the answer, or they just don't want to seem like they're smarter than the boys? What do you say to them?
I say that they should absolutely speak out and that they shouldn't be afraid to have their voice heard. I definitely used to be one of those girls, and I definitely used to be afraid to speak out or afraid to go against my male classmates in anything. But over time, I've realized that you really just need to find the confidence within yourself to do that. And it is so important because once you speak out, it's so worth it.
It is so worth it. And as you go into your next chapter, leaving high school behind, going into college, the workplace, going abroad, whatever you decide to do, is this something that you think will continue to be a passion for you?
I 100% agree. I really want to major in mechanical engineering as of right now. And so I know that I'm going to face a lot of difficult classes and that, I'm probably going to be surrounded by a lot of people who don't want to see my success. But I think that I definitely need to keep these values that I'm passing on to the younger kids in mind for myself as well.
Well, for what it's worth, I will be like the lucky rabbit's foot in your pocket. I am rooting for you. Keep it on, and thanks for doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
An event that has been happening at Silver Creek High School for 8 years, with a goal to make everyone feel loved and included. Day of Champions, an SCLA Capstone project, never fails to make that goal become a reality. An event for kids with special needs throughout the St. Vrain Valley School District come together and have a fun and inclusive day filled with athletic events and a day dedicated just for them. I'm Mayson Bogrett, and my goal for this project is to make Day of Champions one for the books for these awesome kids because they truly deserve it.
All righty. Good morning, Mayson. I'm so excited to hear more about your project. Can you tell me a little bit about what led you to the Day of Champions? And I hear that maybe your family had something to do with that.
Yeah, my family has been pretty involved in this, just like with a lot of volunteer work. And then Joe and McKenna actually took it on, and so did Katie Foster. So yeah, it's just pretty involved family-wise. But yeah.
Okay. And Asa, can you tell me about the events that you have with Day of Champions at Silver Creek? Typically in a typical year, of course.
So when we would have it at Silver Creek, we would have kickball, and then we would have basketball. I kind of forget what the big ones were those ones actually. But then we would have like pizza and everything, and then we would have volunteers. That was my favorite as a volunteer for my siblings. So yeah.
So cool. And how do you think this project brought value to others?
For the kids, like the athletes, it just felt like they were included, and that they were just loved, and that it was very like inclusive. And the volunteers that we had were always awesome, and they made sure that they knew that they were loved, and that they just really appreciate them. At the same time, you can definitely see it throughout the whole day with like the camaraderie of both of the athlete and the volunteer that they had throughout the day.
I can feel your passion. I can hear it in your voice, and I just love that you love helping others. True. And how was your maybe your knowledge expanded by this project?
A lot. When I helped with the Day of Champions last year that we had at the district, when it wasn't like Silver Creek led, just like walking around and like seeing all the different sports and what like kids are able to do and what they're not able to do, and then fixing that throughout this year and making it more accessible to every athlete so that they can play.
Awesome. And sometimes we have mental blocks, like when we're doing sports and we're doing, did you have any tools or guidance that you gave during the day of champions, or?
Just like words of encouragement and just like cheering them on. And they love that. They eat that up. So yeah.
I can see that. And did you have a mentor that worked with you on your project?
I am mentoring with Chase McBride, who's the district AD.
Outstanding. And super supportive. And
he knows all the ins and outs. So
one thing is, did this project enhance your worldview?
Yeah, it did. I was a young life leader for kids with special needs for Capernaum. And so taking from there and like the way that they communicate with leaders, and then bringing that into athletes, it opened my eyes a lot because I can see just like bits and pieces of how it all like fits together.
That's awesome. I just love that. So can you give me a rundown of the Day of Champions, and just kind of like walk me through what a typical day would look like? I know you did in the beginning, but give me an idea of how many are involved and the details.
So this year, it's going to be like not like a mandatory event, but it's going to be for all like the special needs kids in the district, and all the ADs know about it, and their teachers know about it. So we'll have a pre-showing, and all the ADs will be there from each school. But it will start off, we'll have like warm-ups and stuff with their groups, and then we'll have stations. I believe the stations this year are kickball, we'll have like ball tennis, soccer, we'll have 50-yard dash, what was I saying? We'll have shuffleboard, that's what I meant. And
that's okay.
Then we'll have a dunk tank as well. And then we'll have 2 snack rotations as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that day to occur. And I'm so proud of you, and what a great project. And I know that you have brought so much joy to so many with this project. So thank you. Thank you so much. You have a great project. So thank you. Much to be proud of, my dear.
Thank you.
We are fortunate to grow up in a community united by athletics and the outdoors, from community running races to local climbing gyms and shoe stores. I've been running since I was 8 years old, and I have gone through a lot of running shoes while participating in these community activities. Even if running isn't your passion, shoes are a universal object, and they get used and eventually replaced. My ever-growing pile of worn-out shoes has motivated me to become the project manager of the Capstone Stepping Up for Soles for Souls. Soles for Souls is a non-profit organization that provides an opportunity to get rid of unused shoes in an economically friendly and environmentally conscious way. Soles for Souls collects shoes in any condition, from scraps of fabric to brand new products, and donates them to communities in need. My goal is to collect 2,021 pairs of shoes through drives and donation sites in our outdoor-oriented school district and community. With the support of Boulder County, I aim to support Soles for Souls one shoe at a time.
Ryleigh Crawford, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am good. So tell me about your project. Can you?
I'm doing Stepping Up for Soles, so I'm partnering with Soles for Souls and doing some drives throughout the community to collect used shoes for the organization.
Oh, that is awesome. Stepping Up Soles for Souls. So now let me ask you, when you look at all of the pieces that came together to really grab you for this project, is there one thing that sticks out that really spoke to you as a person who said, I gotta do this?
I first worked with Soles for Souls and I was in 7th grade, actually. I was trying to get volunteer hours for NJHS, and I was like, I love running, and this is a project where I just get to tie a bunch of shoes together. So I did it then, and then when I got here, I was like, what else can I do besides this project? Because I've been doing it since I was like 12.
Right. No, that's awesome. I think that it is it's a worthwhile cause, no doubt. Yes. And what's when you say that this is something that has really, really stuck with you, you could have chosen anything. You say you love to run. Has that been since you were a little kid, or has that been, because I keep remembering, I keep forgetting that you're only in, like 16, 17, the 12th grade. It's not like you guys are, 40 or 50 years old like us, right? And so I think about all of the stuff that you guys have coming at you. And I mean, I say you guys, but I mean he, she, they, all of that. There is so much stuff coming at y'all. And you still find time to make sure you help other people. And I can't tell you how appreciative that is.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing it. I mean, I guess I'm running all the time, so I'm around kids who grow out of their shoes or run through their shoes. And there's so many pairs of shoes that I'll run through. Like this season, I'll probably go through 2, and that's one season alone. And now I'm through almost 8 seasons. So it's a lot of shoes, me alone.
Oh my gosh, that is a lot of shoes. And as you go through running, are you a long distance, short distance runner, or doesn't matter?
I'm a long distance runner for sure, unfortunately.
Oh. No, why do you say unfortunately?
It's hard. Running long distances is hard.
It is. It's really, really, really hard. But that place that you go in your mind, I am not a long distance runner. In my heyday, when I ran track, it was short distances, anything over a mile or 2. I'm thinking I am going to need a cab. So I am not the gazelle that's running. I'm more like the tiger that can sprint out, or the cheetah, and then it's time to take a walk. Okay. How do you, where do you go in your mind to get those long distances under your belt? What are you saying to yourself?
I spend a lot of time telling myself not to stop, but I enjoy running because I just get to think for myself. Like I ran today by myself, and it's like a stress relief. You just don't think about anything, actually. Like a lot of people would think you think about all the things that are stressful, but you don't. You just start running and you don't think about anything, and it's very relaxing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That is, and that's what I've heard many of my friends describe that as, that runner's high, that you just you feel good about running. And so you keep running even though you're exhausted.
Right.
So the next chapter in your life is what, young lady?
Going to college, I guess.
You
Which is
guess,
crazy.
because there are other things out there, right? You're saying,
right.
Oh, I think this is, but what do you think you want to study when you go to college?
I plan on studying biology with the intention of doing nutrition eventually, sports nutrition.
Oh, excellent. We need that too. So really, in essence, you could very well be a very good personal trainer.
I hope so. That would be the hope.
Yeah, that would be a huge help. That would be something. There's a terrific market out here for that. So thank you so much, Ryleigh. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
When you have something that you're passionate about, you use your voice. My name is Cruzie Dudley, and I am the project manager of Finding Freedom Within, a seat for all at the table. Eating disorders can affect all types of people, of different gender, race, and age. As many as 30 million people in the United States have an eating disorder, and this is simply not okay. Eating disorders have the highest risk of death out of any mental health disorder, and it is commonly one of the mental health disorders most commonly misunderstood. Capstone project, Finding Freedom Within, will hopefully take the steps needed to change that. I am promoting and raising awareness and money for NEDA, National Eating Disorder Association. To do this, I'm going to be hosting a walk with all donations going to NEDA. And throughout the rest of the year, I'm also going to be doing other fundraisers to help raise more money and awareness. So help me in my capstone project, Finding Freedom Within.
Cruzie Dudley, tell me all about your project.
Well, my project is called Finding Freedom Within, and I created this capstone project in order to raise money and awareness within our school and hopefully in the community to make an impact and help out the NEDA association, and that's the National Eating Disorder Association. Personally struggling with an eating disorder and having to go through rehab and treatment for a big portion of my senior summer definitely left an impact on me, and it's been my goal to help support people who are going through that rough time in their lives, because I believe that no one should be going through that, and everyone deserves to have a beautiful life, and there's so much to live, and yeah.
Yeah, no, everyone definitely. Do you find that eating disorders are something that is more prevalent than most people know in high school?
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. And I think the thing is that a lot of times it's hard to address the situation because a lot of times it's hard to express. It's a different kind of mental disorder. That's not very, it's common, but it's not addressed. It's hard to address.
What do you think the number one misconception is from people who have never experienced it, whether they're teenagers or whether they're full-grown adults, that they don't know, they think they know, but they don't know when it comes to eating disorders?
I think a lot of people don't know that you're battling yourself the whole time. It's not like outside sources or like it's a big part of it's like influence from media and stuff like that, but you are constantly in a battle with your own self, like wanting to choose what's right for yourself, but also those like voices just telling that make it hard to. And yeah.
Wow. And that takes courage to even talk about that, to even delve into that. When you were really trying to find and determine what you wanted your project to be, and you arrived at this, was it a hard decision to make to do this?
No, I wouldn't say so because it's something that I'm super passionate about. I would never want anyone to go through what I had to go through. And if any small like help that I can give, like by donating money, raising awareness for NIDA is what I can do, that's where I want to put my focus and my hard work towards.
Is this going to go into your next chapter of life after high school?
Hopefully, I would really like to make an impact on nutrition and just like psychology and focusing on a different approach to dealing with the illness.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. It takes courage to be you. I'm so thankful that you're doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Youth sports: basketball, football, baseball. All important sports that children play to learn important social, physical, and emotional skills. These sports aren't possible without great youth sports organizations like Niwot Youth Sports. However, these are nonprofit organizations that can struggle to keep facilities and their programs running. To support hundreds of kids in each program is a difficult task. When these programs can receive support through service and fundraising, they can thrive. We strive to provide service through projects. We strive to fundraise to help better facilities and improve the service the organization can give. I am Max Ebert, Project Supervisor. In partnering with SCLA and Niwot Youth Sports, we support the future of sports. We are Swing for the Fence.
Hey, good morning, Max. I am so excited to hear more about your project. So the Niwot Youth Sports, supporting the future of sports. What was your, I guess, life event or inspiration for starting this project?
Well, essentially, when I was a youth, I played sports with them. I played baseball, I played basketball, I played flag football with them, and they had given me a lot of great experiences with sports and inspired me to keep playing sports and having a good time. And over the past summer as well, I actually worked for them and did some projects for them and figured out that there's actually a lot of need in that community and the Niwot Youth Sports program. There's a lot of need for support and help through monetary or like service. They can do all of that. So I was inspired to help them for this year.
Wonderful. And so so it sounds like it reflected your abilities and passions with sports. Can you tell me a little bit about what a difference you made there?
Sure, yeah. So I in youth sports, I was inspired to do this just because of how much this has left an impact on me. And so my goals have been to work on providing important service projects that would improve the facilities at Niwot Youth Sports, as well as help give money to them that they could use to support other athletes who may not be able to provide the fee for joining youth sports, and or helping build facilities that, isn't just like a simple service project.
Wonderful. And how did you get or teach these skills or train? What was the big part of that support?
Sure. Yeah. So we just this past October, we went out, me and a group of people, and as far as like teaching skills, we're mostly just doing service that is like what we did for our project in October was we painted dugouts. So essentially we just needed people that could, be able to go out and paint these dugouts, and we were able to do that, and we were able to paint 4 dugouts, and it supported helping these facilities become better than what they previously were.
That is amazing. And I bet they surely appreciated your support, and especially with the way of the world, getting people out to do these jobs and stuff. I bet that was really meaningful and really helpful to them. So did you have a lot of fun doing your project?
Yeah, I did. It's been great so far, and I'm really happy that I can help a organization that's meaningful to me, as well as I'm really glad that I can go out and like feel like I'm changing something and feel like I can actually help the community. And now esports is, I had at the SCHS open house, I had multiple people come up to me and tell me how now esports has they've been a part of that for a long time, and I know that now esports is a very impactful organization for a lot of people in our community, and so I'm really glad that I can help them and have fun doing it.
Well, I can sure hear your passion for that, and I know you've changed lives and helped them so much, and I bet they're just so appreciative of your work and your project. So I love hearing your story, and thank you. Great work.
Ashlyn Evans, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I am doing good. Tell me about your project.
Well, my project is called Raptor Report. It's been a project that's been passed down through a couple of generations of SCLA seniors, and I'm the next one to take it on. I'm focusing on promotion of events at Silver Creek, like games, clubs, sports is already considered games, and events like concerts or school plays, and trying to get more attendance for the student body so that they're more aware of what events are happening.
Do you think that as you try to raise that awareness for the student body, do you find that there is a complacency or a lack of interest and it's frustrating?
A little bit. I think some events are really underrepresented within the Silver Creek community. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on sports because that's like a main aspect in high school. Obviously, it's a really popular event that people go to. But I think a lot of the arts aspect of Silver Creek has a lot less attendance, as well as certain clubs are a little more underrepresented. And it is a little bit frustrating, the underrepresentation of that. So I'm trying to help bring more attendance to those events and see if we can get more people going and supporting the students of Silver Creek.
How do you do that? And so let me see if I can really drill down on it. How do you get them to care in areas where they don't think, well, everybody wants to go to the game. But when you start talking about things like, civic mindedness or showing up for X, Y, and Z, that's not as, how shall I say, titillating or motivating as, say, a basketball game or a football game, how do you get them to say, you know what? This does matter just as much, if not more than that. And it is my responsibility as a young citizen to show up.
Well, I'm really focusing on showing pictures of like the actual events happening and showing that like there are a lot of people who are going to this and seeing just how much effort is put in, seeing like the play and like the costumes. We just had our school play happen recently, and just like showing how many people actually came to support them, showing how much work they put in, showing like the costumes and the set and like all of the aspects that are really underrepresented, and just making the information about when to be there and when it's happening really easily accessible so that if students want to go, like they have all the information possible to see if they want to show up.
Oh, that is outstanding. And that requires you sometimes to be front and center. You're talking, you're smiling, you're engaging. Any kind of fears associated with that?
A little bit. I was a part of, like, my middle school had like a news program where they focused on like also promoting school events. So I was a little bit more used to it than other people might have been, but it's still a little nerve-wracking. Obviously, you're like putting yourself out there a lot in front of the camera and for all of the student body to see. So it can be a little nerve-wracking, yeah.
Well, that's how future leaders are forged. So I know that you're going to be just fine.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Good luck to you, and thanks for all that you do. Kayla Farwell, tell me something about yourself that would surprise me.
Well, something that I'm really interested in right now is criminology, and so that's kind of what inspired my project, which is a Belief and Relief. It was already a project that has been done, but I'm looking to expand on it and really help the community.
Okay, so tell me how and why criminology?
I just am really interested in like the victims, which is why my project is for victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, because I think it's one of the aspects of the criminal justice system that's not fully talked about enough. Like, for example, we had this shooting recently of a mailman by his girlfriend, and that was an instance of domestic violence, and I know that a lot of people are not aware of that. And so that's why I think that it's a really prominent thing that needs to be talked about.
No question. And what is so rare about that usually is it's not the woman.
Yeah.
It is usually the man, but you clearly, when I even heard of the case, I thought, okay, that is personal. You do not come to somebody's mailbox and shoot somebody several times just on a whim. Somebody knew somebody and was upset. And of course, just like you, probably were not surprised to hear that it was an estranged spouse or estranged girlfriend.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't fully realize that it also happens to men. Like, it happens to men, women, and children. It's just all across the board.
That is correct. Absolutely. About 96% women, the rest men, but they matter just as much. Have you heard of the Rose Andom Center here in Denver?
I actually have not.
Well, I will have to tell you about the Rose Andom Center. It is one-stop shopping, if you will. And by that, I mean, when you are a victim of domestic violence, you have to go to the DA, and then you have to go to another place, to the hospital, and then you have to go to make sure your dog is okay in a kennel, and then you have to, your kids are, well, do I have to drop them off at a girlfriend so I can go and talk to, an attorney or somebody? The Rose Andom Center in Denver just celebrated its 5-year anniversary, and they are one stop. They have a DA's office in the center, which is highly secure. They have Denver Health has a clinic there. The police department is there, so you can file a report. There's a place where you can have your kids who are being taken care of on the premises while you were there talking with all these individuals. There's even a place for you to bring your dog, so you're not worried about leaving anyone behind. And right now they're working on housing. I tell you all of that because that might be a good place for you to start if you're interested in taking this kind of work and this kind of experience into your adult life, because they need very good people, but it's a phenomenal facility.
Yeah, I'm actually working with something kind of similar. I'm working with the Safe Shelter here in Longmont, like more specifically the TARE program, which is Teens Ending Relationship Abuse. And so I'll be going into like the 9th grade health classes, like actually this week, and I'll be presenting a portion of the TARE presentation on consent. And then I also did the training with the Safe Shelter earlier on this summer, where I got to be a certified advocate.
Oh, Kayla, that is outstanding.
I know, it's
really outstanding. Mm-hmm. Because it really does. It's a profession where so much compassion and understanding, and people don't want to be judged. They need what you are doing. Kudos to you, young lady.
Oh, absolutely. It's honestly like heartbreaking to hear the different stories, like from all the cases and stuff. And that's just why I want to get the word out and spread awareness for it.
What do you think the number one misconception is about domestic violence? Just one thing.
I think that a lot of people think that it doesn't happen as much as it actually does. Like over 20,000 calls to the domestic line hotline have happened like just within the past year. And I think that's honestly a staggering statistic.
It is a staggering statistic. I absolutely admire you. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Kumari Nepal needs our help.
Through the power of music, we can help those in need.
With a series of benefit concerts.
Woven into the school year.
All to raise money and awareness for
Health and Ed for Nepal.
To help Kumari Nepal out of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sending aid to Everest.
I'm Keller Fritz, concert maestro. And this is Concerts for Kumari.
Keller Fritz, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing good. This is a very, very talented class. It's my understanding you have a hidden talent, maybe hidden to the screen now, but I'm sure everybody knows about it. Talk about it, Mr. Keyboard.
Yeah, I still get surprised people don't know. It's a huge part of my life, but I guess I keep it kind of low. But yes, I do play the piano. I've been playing it since 4th grade. And in high school, I've entered the world of jazz and found my passion through that. And it's, like I said, a huge part of who I am.
So piano and keyboards, are they not one and the same? But I know you get different sounds out of them. But basically, once you get the keys down, you've got the keys down.
Right, yeah. It's once the keys are on the floor, it's time to roll, That's how it goes.
That is good. So where are you and Mr. Pritchard playing next?
Oh, man, right now, we're in the planning of the next concert for Kumari, my capstone project. We had our first real show as a band, really, the DK Experience, shout out. But yeah, working on planning the next one with them. And it's a ton of fun to play with David.
And so as that relates to your project, share a little bit about your project.
Yeah, so Concerts for Kumari is a series of benefit concerts hosted by myself in correlation with Health and Ed for Nepal to help raise money for Kumari, Nepal, which is a village in Nepal.
Mm-hmm. And why Kumari, Nepal?
When I started looking for capstone project ideas, I knew I wanted to do music. That was the first step, right? Like I wanted to have that part of me showcased. And then the second part of me was saying, okay, well, how can I utilize this to help others? And one thing I really wanted to be involved in my capstone project was reaching a global outreach. I really wanted to make an impact beyond. And I was inspired by so many great benefit concerts throughout the years and decades, such as, Concert for Bangladesh by George Harrison, Farm Aid, Live Aid, etc. And so one day, after going through a few organizations, Miss Adams and Miss Kohn introduced me to Health and Ed for Nepal and to those guys here in Longmont. And that was a huge part of it, was that they were here in Longmont doing great things. And it was just a perfect fit right from the start, talking with them, and I'm really happy that I found them.
No, it sounds like it. You light up even when you talk about it. It's not often that you can have something that you're passionate and good at married up with something that can affect change and make a difference in people's lives. And so kudos to you for that. What's the one thing you want people to take away from your passion as it relates to this project?
The one thing I want people to take away is that there's a whole other story outside of our own. We, especially through COVID, we were pushed into this little bubble of our own ideas, our own thoughts, our own people around us. And there's places really struggling. And we've all gone through the pandemic in different ways. And the biggest thing I want people to take from it is that there's places out there that need our help, and that hopefully through our love and grace, we can help them just a little bit.
Oh man, that is a good message there. Thank you. Thank you so much. And kudos to you. Good job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Keller.
Unified Sports is a family designed to give students of all abilities a safe place to play sports and interact with all different kinds of people. We aim to improve inclusiveness in the school and community beyond through creating bonds between unified students and mentors. These relationships are something that last a lifetime and are irreplaceable to these students. Creating this bond between mentor and athlete is extremely important to me, as I've grown up with a twin who has Down syndrome. She has taught me everything I need to know about life and is my biggest supporter. I want to create the same opportunities for her that I've had throughout my whole life in sports.
Ashley Gaccetta, tell me a little bit about yourself and about your project.
So I've been playing sports ever since I can walk, and it's always been a huge passion of mine. I've also grown up with a twin sister who has Down syndrome, and so mixing them together, we get Silver Creek Unites, which is my project. It's promoting unified sports in the school and in the district, and we're working on building teams in Silver Creek to compete against other schools.
Oh, that's excellent. That is excellent. And so having a sister with Down and having a compassion for those who you know, families love them and they are there for them. I've got a very good friend who, you know, just has gone through so much with her daughter who also has Down syndrome. But what do you say to those who say, you know what, we want to make sure that this is there for everyone and not just singling out a group? You say what to those individuals as it relates to your project?
I mean, I love it. Like, my whole project is in promoting inclusiveness. And so whenever somebody says, I want to be a part of this, I say, of course, come on. Because these kids, they're so pure, right? They have so much joy and love for the world, and it's so much fun to get to work with them and see their viewpoint on life. They teach us a lot.
They really do. They really, really do, Ashley. What have they taught you?
They've taught me a lot about compassion and patience, and to look at the world through a positive lens, and just to be happy and look for the small things in life.
You know, I cannot tell you how beautiful that is to hear from someone who is as youthful as you are. But I also know in this world today, age is just a number, especially when you're young. You still, this last few years, if you are a youth, you had to grow up very fast and really do things that perhaps you didn't think you would have to do until you were a legal aged adult. But since that has not been the case, and you have clearly stepped up to the plate, do you think this will be something that will go into your next phase of life after high school?
Yeah, I definitely want to keep working with students with disabilities. I mean, they're just such a joy to work with, and I love surrounding myself with them, and it's definitely a passion to work with them and help them and be a mentor to all.
Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Ultimately, I think what I learned from your capstone project is that I like to do a lot of self-reflection, and I didn't really notice that much until you gave us this capstone project and gave us these like journals.
Hey, Aiden, great to meet you. Can you tell me a little bit more about the mindset toolbox and maybe what led to you choosing this particular project?
Oh yeah, of course. So with the mindset toolbox, the whole idea that I wanted to do, so I wanted kids to have an outlet for them to improve their mindset and about like dreaming and goal setting and all that good stuff. And I think as a freshman, that's a really important skill to have, even in college or high school even too.
Yes, and I heard you used a book, The Big Life Journal, with your project. Can you tell me a little bit about that journal?
Oh yeah, so like that journal is more of an interactive journal with like activities and little like scripts of things to do. Just like, for example, in one of classes, what we did as a dream catcher.
Yeah.
All their goals in the future and like good stuff. And I think it was really cool just to have like stuff that's based in art and just like stuff that you just read through.
Awesome. And I love dream catchers. I think they're so inspirational. And so who are you working with to help with these skills?
So all classes I'm doing are SCLA and my team are ambassadors that I help me. So they all know a little bit about the book and about all that good stuff, about dreaming and goal setting. I think it's really awesome to have that they know a little bit about that too as a background.
Wonderful. Are they mostly ninth graders or?
So on my team, they're like sophomores and juniors.
Okay.
They're on that team, I think. Yeah.
And So was there a problem that created your need for your project, or what was it? There was a life event that maybe you happened that led you to do this?
No, I won't say that there's an event in my life, but I think at our school especially, all teachers are like, have a good mindset that I can't do that yet, but they don't really have an idea of how to teach that or how to show us how to use that. I think a journal does a good job of having steps to outline how to do it and how to achieve that in your life.
Wonderful. And did you have a mentor that helped you along with your project?
Yeah, I had a mentor, Laura Maloney, I believe, who works for the Big Life Journal, the people who make the book.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And what was your biggest takeaway from your project?
The takeaway is that I just want all kids just to have an outlet where like they know that they can always improve themselves, that they're not stuck in one path, that there's a lot of different options that they can do. I think by doing this capstone, it gave them a good outlet and good just like a glimpse in their life. Say, hey, I can always improve and do better in things I'm already doing good at.
See, and I love that because you're telling them that they're never alone and that there are ways to reach out and to gain this knowledge to support them. Are there any other like tools that you recommend to improve your mindset or?
Yeah, obviously affirmations are a big one. Just saying I can always improve, and don't always say, oh, I can't do this because of whatever reason. Like that's not a good mindset to have. Just always say I can't do this yet, or I may not be good at this right now, but in the future I can always improve.
Right. So it's that positive energy, right? And a positive attitude changes everything. But I can hear your passion for helping others and improving their lives. And I know you're going to do just that. So what a great project. And I look forward to taking a look at this Big Life Journal. And I thank you for your work you're doing with your capstone project. So great job.
Xavier Garcia, tell me about your project.
So I'm doing Silver Creek Restorative Justice, and that's about bringing the RJ into Silver Creek. So, and I want to do that by creating a team of people to host the mediations at Silver Creek High School.
Oh, wow. What was that born out of? That's pretty in detail. That's intricate.
Yeah, I kind of got that from just by going to a workshop my sophomore year, and I thought it was very useful, and I thought it'd be a great way to kind of introduce people into RJ and what it is.
Is that something that you want to pursue after you graduate?
No, I don't. I want to go into the health field, and so, but I thought it was a great way to kind of go off the growth mindset and give someone a second chance that have one bad mistake or when they're younger.
Yeah, that second chance piece, I think, has tripped up a lot of people, and certainly we all deserve second chances because nobody is perfect. And so that came to you. I can see you love, there's a passion there for that. And you don't find a lot of younger people, certainly folks in high school, talking about helping others so that they can have a second chance. Why is that important to you?
That's important to me because I believe that giving someone a second chance is crucial to like them having a better life or them having a not so great life. And I feel like someone shouldn't be judged off of one thing they did when they were younger because they could offer so many things that you don't see on their surface.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you were going to be outstanding. Thank you so much, Xavier. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Bryce Gorr, you got to tell me about this class project that you've been doing, or I should say the SCLA project, because it's way different than a class. This is something you guys have been doing for really, quite frankly, 4 years.
Yeah, this is the final project. I mean, everything that we've learned has culminated into this project, and I'm really excited to take over Max Allen's project, Put a Smile on a Senior, and make it my own, really. He was kind of held back with COVID, and I hope to be able to go into the senior home and actually be able to do activities in there. I'm working on maybe getting like a little concert and also like VR, virtual reality for the seniors. So I'm really excited for that.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, so what is the name of your project?
It's Put a Smile on a Senior. Basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, with COVID and the lockdown, it's really hard because they're kind of almost locked in like prisoners. Like the lockdown was even more strict for them than it was for any of us. So just to be able to go in there and brighten their day, make them smile, boost their morale, is just something special.
That is extremely important because it was worse for them because saying hello to folks through glass or husbands and being separated from wives, it was brutal.
It was. I can't even imagine for them. And so that's why I'm trying to go into there is be like, hey, you guys aren't alone. There's people thinking of you. There's people wanting to know how you're doing. There's people who care for you. And whether it's your family or not, there's people looking out for you.
Bryce, that is, wow. I have spoken to many individual who are in an assisted living facility who really did miss their loved ones, and it was painful. I cried with them. So for you to do this and spend time with them when they can't get to, or their loved ones can't get to them, it is beyond a gift. It is really, really special that you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I was close with my grandparents and not being able to see them during COVID. And I even have a set of grandparents left. So for them, especially like them not being able to see their son and not be able to see us, it's just hard. And I can't imagine that for anyone else. And I don't want that for anyone else. So just to be able to just make a little bit of change for some elderly folk, that's something that I'm proud of.
Bryce, why do you care so much?
I just care because I feel like people should be able to know their family. And I mean, I'm focusing more on grandparents, but just their family in general. I just hope that people are able to see them, and I don't want anything to hold it back. So when COVID was restricting them from seeing other people and just seeing what the employees and maybe even other senior citizens maybe, it's just hard to know that they're just by themselves. So I just want them to know that they're cared for and that people love them and that they're there for them.
Yeah, well, you are one special young man. That is great. I want to encourage you to continue because there is a great need in that realm. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
These days, the cost of clothing increases every year. New clothing is often quite expensive and you aren't necessarily paying for quality. Upcycled clothing can actually be nicer and cheaper. Not only is secondhand affordable, it's also better for the environment. The fashion industry is responsible for 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions, and as a country, we in the US produce over 17 million tons of textile waste per year. This issue is what inspired me to start my capstone project, Creek Closet. I want to promote upcycling in our community, as well as providing nice clothing to those in need. I've been collecting clothing from around the community, as well as sorting it for size, quality, and wearability. All clothing will be washed and then later donated to a school in our district, where young teens will receive high-quality clothing for no cost. For more information, visit the Creek Closet website.
Anabella Heinrichs, tell me a little bit about your project.
So my project is Creek Closet, and I started it because my dad's an ocean conservationist, and so my family's always been very conscious about the environment. And the fashion industry is actually one of the most harmful industries for the environment. So I kind of wanted to do something to promote like upcycling and secondhand clothing, because it can often be nice clothing for lower prices and it's better for the earth. But I also know that clothing costs a lot. So I wanted to help get people who needed clothing. Like I wanted to get clothes for people who needed clothes. So I've been collecting donations and sorting them, and they're gonna go to a local middle school where there's teens that need clothing because it's their first year in this country and they don't really have enough clothes.
Oh, wow. No, that is great. Kind of like some of the Afghan refugees who are coming to this country now.
Yeah.
Who were in school. No question. I certainly applaud the effort, because there is such a need right now for so many different things. Some of the simplest of things, whether you are in need or you can afford to buy it, just because the shipping world is so messed up. So there aren't a lot of goods that are coming in just because there aren't a lot of supply chain in the supply chain that's really kind of broken a lot of stuff down. But how did you arrive at this particular, passion or this project, saying, you know what, there is a need there and I am going to try to fill it?
Yeah, so ever since I was younger, I've always loved clothes, and I would always go to thrift stores and stuff to get like unique clothing and stuff like that, because I just had like a really unique style and I loved experimenting with my clothing. And so I've always kind of known about thrift stores and how you can find really cool stuff there for not that much money. And I can combine that with like my knowledge of environmental issues, and I decided that there's like this ever-growing need with increasing cost and inflation and stuff to kind of combine that and help people make more sustainable fashion choices.
But you know what, a lot of people, they wouldn't have even recognized that the fashion world, and you're right, it's very hard for many of the designers to marry up what they're doing with environmental friendliness, right? And so you said, you know what, you can look good and be environmentally friendly.
Yeah. And like clothing, I've noticed the prices are getting so high. And so I definitely thought like, well, what if somebody can't afford this stuff and they need good clothes? So I thought maybe I could help provide like some quality clothing to people who need clothes for free, because it shouldn't be that much money.
Right. No, it shouldn't. And I don't care how much money I ever make, you're never going to see a pair of $4,000 shoes on my feet. I just think that is way too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I thank you so very much, and the best of luck to you. It sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Good evening, Zach Hirman. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am doing good. Talk to me a little bit about your project.
So it started out as a event for children to come here with that we would babysit and watch while teachers did like conferences and stuff. And then it turned into, because of COVID, event setup and cleanup. So like the back to school stuff, we'll set it up and clean up so the teachers and some of the students aren't left here until 12 at night cleaning that up.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's interesting. You know, it's funny how you'll go through something and it'll give birth to a terrific idea. And if you had not gone through it, you probably would not have thought of that being a project or even turning into a business.
Yeah, well, Miss Norris kind of came up with the idea because me and her would always stay really late to clean up, and she thought that was a great idea because I couldn't do my other project. But I like the idea. It's really fun. It's nice because it's not super serious, but it's still helping out with a lot of stuff.
It absolutely is. Has there been anything about your project that has surprised you now that you're in it?
Not that much because it's kind of a new project. I've had it for about a week and a half, but it's really new. But surprisingly, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the school that people don't know about. There's a lot of cleanup and takedown of events that people don't know that's happening. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's kind of like Night at the Museum, huh? When people go home, it's a whole new shift and a whole new nightlife that really comes to life.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world. It's insane.
Wow. So in that realm, what has surprised you the most about seeing what happens after hours at school?
How long it takes. Like, even though it might be up and down the halls of just like a little bit of stuff, it takes forever to clean up. Even with like a ton of people, it's so much work that the teachers have to do.
Yeah. And do you think teachers are unappreciated?
Very. Yes, very.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to be a teacher?
I was thinking about it for a while. I'd love to be like a biology teacher or something, but I think I'm going to maybe be a botanist or something in that realm.
Yeah, because you've seen up close and personal, it's like a love of what you're doing, but boy, is it a labor of love.
It is so hard.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Well, good. I thank you so very much for doing it. Even though you've been doing it in a short period of time, you are definitely on the right track, Zach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andersyn Ibsen, tell me about your project.
Awesome. Yeah, so my project is Beauty and Strength. And what it is teaching self-defense to the girls at Silver Creek High School. Personally, I grew up with a mom who always gave me and my sister tips, don't go walking at night, watch what you wear, that secret of putting your keys in between your knuckles so that you're ready to attack if you need to. And she always encouraged us to take a self-defense course. And so as I went into my senior year and am preparing to go off into the big scary world alone, I wanted to take a self-defense course, but I realized that the availability and the affordability of these classes is not what it should be. And I think that keeping girls safe is obviously such an important thing. A study came out last year that 97% of women have been sexually harassed at some point in their life, from ages 18 to 24.
And so what I really wanted to do is give high schoolers the opportunity to take these courses before they go off to college. And so through a partnership with Fire and Root Co., which is an amazing company, I am actually able to do that for free of charge.
Oh, that's awesome. Because you're right. I mean, most victims, whether it's sexual harassment or sexual assault, they either knew their victims. I mean, most of them knew their victims, and it's like, why did I not see that coming? And then at the same time, you think about, well, if somebody comes up on me, what do I need to do? Now, grown women struggle with that. So I know high school age ladies, definitely, that is a terrific thing. Your mom sounds like somebody I want to meet.
Yeah. And, I think it's great that you brought up, taking that, initiative of like what to do in that situation, because these classes, they focus on empowerment and building confidence in young women, which I think is such an important thing. I had a class this last Friday, and it was so cool because I got to see the girls come in kind of shy, unsure what to do, and they were leaving with the biggest smiles. They were so confident. They were so happy. They were like, this is awesome. It's such a cool experience, and I'm super happy to be doing this for my project.
Oh, no, that is great. And it's hands-on, and it's something that will stick with you for the rest of your life. Now, let me ask you, in your next chapter after high school, are we thinking about going into law enforcement?
No, actually not at all. I actually want to be a journalist. Very different.
Yeah, it is. But I will tell you this, self-empowerment is all a part of it. And with journalism today, honey, you never know what you might have to do.
Yeah.
So, I am so very glad. Do you want to go into radio, TV, print, in front of the camera, behind the camera, what?
Print. I'm working with the newspaper for our school. I'm actually an editor for that, and I've just always loved writing, so print's where I want to be.
Well, that is excellent. Good luck to you, Andersyn. You are very, very fascinating, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I wish. Every year, thousands of children are diagnosed with critical illnesses. These kids aren't given an opportunity of a normal life, but my wish is to give them hope.
Through fun events at school and in the community, Wish Week raises money to support Make-A-Wish Colorado and their goal of granting life-changing wishes to children with critical illnesses. The hope of a wish can change a child's outlook on life and help them keep going. I am passionate about Wish Week because I want to give kids like me a chance for their wish to be granted. In 2017, I was diagnosed with stage 3C melanoma, a type of skin cancer. I went through treatment for the next year and successfully went into remission. My wish to go to Germany was granted, and I could not be more thankful for the hope that Make-A-Wish gave me. So now I plan to take their kindness and pay it forward. This is Wish Week, giving hope, granting wishes.
Julianne Johnston, good evening and welcome.
It's great to be here tonight.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Tell me about your project, because I heard that you were working on something pretty special.
My project is Wish Week, and I am the project founder. Wish Week helps Make-A-Wish with granting wishes to children with critical illnesses.
Mm-hmm. And with those illnesses, because we always hear about the Make-A-Wish Foundation in some form or capacity, but I don't think I've ever really talked to a student who's saying, you know what, I really do see not only the need for that, but I'm compassionate to these children and their families and what they're going through. Where does that compassion and passion come from?
So all of this started back in 8th grade when I was actually diagnosed with stage 3C melanoma, which is a type of skin cancer. And from there, I got more and more involved with Make-A-Wish as they granted my wish to go to Germany. And then I became involved with student leadership there. And that's when I found out about Wish Week. And I saw this amazing opportunity to help an organization that has given so much back to me when I was in a really dark place in my life. And so I took that opportunity and I ran with it as fast as I could.
And what part of Germany did you go to?
So we started in Munich, and then we went to Berlin, and we got to do a 22-hour layover in Iceland, which was the longest I've ever been awake before, because we did not sleep that night.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. What do you love about Germany?
Some of my favorite parts were just seeing the culture, because it's so different from here in America, where we have stuff, but it's really only dating back to the 1700s-ish, especially the farther west you get, the newer everything is. But especially in Munich, and when we went to Salzburg in Austria, we got to see these amazing castles and all these extremely old buildings, and you could see things dating back thousands of years.
Yes, Salzburg, home of Mozart. You talk about Austria and all of that. Oh my goodness. That is an absolute once in a lifetime, right? I mean, you see that and it's like, oh my gosh, that is so, so very special. So with what you were doing and where you're going, do you see taking all of what you have learned and experienced and taking that into adulthood to continue this quest?
Yes. So with my life, I'm hoping to become a band director at a high school someday, and I would love nothing more than to work with students on projects similar to this and give students those opportunities to work with teachers when they're wanting to do things like this, and give them that support system that I've been so grateful to have here at SCLA in Silver Creek.
Well, I'm glad that your cancer is in remission, young lady, and you look marvelous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Great job.
Diversity leads to creativity, progress, and innovation. However, racial minorities only make up about 30% of the STEM workforce. This gap stems from a lack of exposure and representation in STEM education. Diversity in STEM starts with exposure to one's potential, exposure to bring about change and progress. Expanding my horizons through STEM has always enhanced my curiosity and drive to learn. I'm Rakhi Kataria, and my project, Inspire Innovation, consists of monthly lessons focused on expanding exposure, fostering creativity, skill building, and hands-on education for 5th graders at Columbine Elementary School. From career crash courses to coding self-portraits, I hope to inspire my students to diversify the STEM narrative.
Rakhi Kataria, how are you?
Hi, Gloria. I'm doing excellent. Very excited
Well,
to talk.
I am glad you are. So tell me about your project. What did you decide on?
My project is Inspire Innovation, Diversifying the STEM Narrative. So STEM is a predominantly white field, and a lot of students, especially at Columbine Elementary School, don't necessarily have much exposure to STEM outside of the classroom. So at a young age, my mom used to take me, she's an engineer, and she used to always take me to like Girls in Engineering Days, to NCAR, to NOAA, to CU, just to do like some experiments. I got to talk to like researchers at a really young age, and it was super inspiring, and it's what made me want to go into STEM. But that exposure came outside of the classroom. And a lot of parents don't really have the time to take their kids to these places. And with COVID, they can't really take them anywhere. So in going to 5th grade classrooms at Columbine Elementary School, I can show them STEM outside of the classroom with like fun experiments, and like we're gonna work with green screens, Legos, and just learning about careers in STEM that aren't as common, so that they can tie in their own interests into STEM, because STEM influences everything, like this conversation we're having right now.
No question. And I always say, as I look at all the home shows, or I look at shows that deal with architecture and building buildings, and they say, you know, the name of one show is, how did they build that? And you're looking at all these curves and all of these, you know, the stuff that they have to do beneath the building before they can even build the foundation. And as I look at that, I say all of that is math. There is a math formula out there that allowed them to build this, to build that. And there's still things that haven't had a math kind of, what is it? What do we call it? An algorithm that can create everything that we see. But you talk about buildings that have rounds and not corners, and they have, you know, the height and different floors, you protrude out in different ways. You're right. Your mom did you a huge, huge service by taking you and exposing you in building blocks, all of that stuff. Is that where your passion lies, in that realm?
Yeah, I love STEM and I really want to go into environmental engineering and aerospace engineering. Environmental engineering to like help our planet and climate change because that's another issue I'm really inspired by. And then aerospace because I really love space and I think it's so fascinating what lies beyond our world.
Do you think that with what is lies beyond our world and what we are doing right now to the planet, I'm huge on the environment. I'm huge on recycling. I'm huge on taking care of what we have. If you're not using the lights, turn them off. If you're not using the water, turn it off. If you're brushing your teeth, why is the water running? You're brushing your teeth. I mean, all the things that we're so accustomed to doing and recognizing the importance of water. You know, you can go for weeks without food. You can be dead within a week if you have no water, right? So all of those things are extremely important. When you go to your next chapter, what do you see, Rakhi, as far as what you want to do with all of this knowledge and expertise that you have?
As you can probably tell, I'm really passionate about social justice as well as climate justice. So with my education and as I further it, I really want to do work that not only inspires others to do the same, but that will also really make a lasting impact and will allow me to create my own STEM narrative like I'm trying to do with the students at Columbine Elementary.
Well, I am thrilled for you. Your future is bright, no doubt, and I thank you for all that you do and all that you will do because we need you when it comes to climate change. We need you.
Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking with you.
Hi, my name is Payton Keeler, and I am partnering with 7 Elements in the Dominican Republic. I was inspired to partner with 7E when I went on a global health initiative in the summer of 2021 to the Dominican Republic. Working in impoverished areas and fostering sustainable practices inspired me to continue helping support citizens of the DR with basic human securities. Currently, I am fundraising for a targeted project that will help either in the areas of healthcare, sustainable housing, water, sanitation, or education. I also hope to spread word in my community about fostering sustainable practices and being the change.
Payton Keeler, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing good. Your class project with this year, really, or the past year, I'm sure has been unique in and of itself, especially you start talking about the Leadership Academy and, you know, everything that has happened over the last 4 years. No one could have predicted a pandemic, but it has happened and you have persevered. Talk about your class project.
So mine is kind of unique in the sense that I'm going international. This summer I had the unique opportunity of traveling to the Dominican Republic on a global health initiative, which is where I met with the partnership that I am currently having for my SCLA Capstone called 7 Elements. And I am working with them in impoverished areas to provide basic human securities.
Oh, wow. That is really getting into the weeds, but it's very, very necessary. What attracted you to that?
Well, when I went on this trip, that was one of the organizations that my other organization was partnered with, and we lived on their base and we got to know some of the people, and we went into these impoverished communities with 7 Elements and with a lot of the workers, and we were building houses out of plastic bottles and doing a lot of other sustainable practices, and it just really inspired me. And I talked to my mentor and I said, I want to do this for my SCLA Capstone. What do you think? And she said, that sounds like a great idea. And I'm passionate about it, and I'm really looking forward to the outcome.
Well, I tell you, that is one beautiful project when you talk about all of the different ideas. And I mean, I have heard some phenomenal ones tonight. Every year I've done this, I am just in awe of some of the things that are taking place. But it is definitely a special, special kind of individual to go to another country and to really employ what they have learned in high school and make it a part of their particular project. That is so, so unique. How, what's the feedback from your parents on this?
My mom is, and my dad are totally supportive. When I came home, my mom was really blown away, and she was like, you're speaking so passionately, like you should definitely do something with this. And because I kind of, I had the thought that I kind of grew up in this bubble, and going to this different country, I didn't really know what the living conditions were, or the fact that some of the people there that were undocumented had to wake up every single day looking for a job, or had to walk 1 or 2 miles to get water. It had an impact on me.
Right. It really does. It puts things into perspective, doesn't it? When you leave this country and see how other people live, and you think, so what? I didn't get fill in the blank. I mean, it is amazing, some of the things that we have right at our fingertips, and it's not that abundant in other parts of the world.
Definitely. And I think so many of my peers that went on this trip with me said the exact same thing. And it really just allowed me to have a different perspective and opened my eyes. And I really want to share this with a bunch of my classmates in the community as well, about not only what I've learned, but as well to make a difference, to make the impact with the money that I'm going to fundraise to do a project.
Well, I have no doubt you will definitely make a difference with this and with whatever you decide to do next. Thank you.
Thank you.
I created Helping Our Heroes because I want to make a difference in my community and show the nurses how much they are appreciated. I will be going around to different stores in Longmont and purchasing gifts and goodies that are going to be bought with the donations made by the community. Each gift basket will include fun things like candy, socks, candles, and more. And then I will be going into the hospitals and delivering these baskets to each department at Longmont United Hospital. Here I am meeting with some of the nurses that I delivered my first basket to. In addition to getting a gift basket, each nurse will be getting an individual mug. My name is Avery Kohn. Thank you for supporting Helping Our Heroes.
Avery Kohn, tell me a little bit about your project.
So I created Helping Our Heroes because I know a lot of the nurses have been impacted by COVID because there was such a big flood of patients to the hospitals. And so many of the hospital beds were taken up that they couldn't even take any more patients in. And I have I know a lot of people who are nurses, and so I know how hard it hit them. Not just in the workplace, but also outside of the hospital. So I thought that making baskets to give them as little gifts would be really nice and would put a smile on their face because they've gone through so much.
Oh, that is outstanding, Avery. And is very true, just because even now they're going through a lot. Mm-hmm. What has been the biggest surprise about what you were doing for these heroes who live amongst us every day?
Probably just how many nurses I would be able to impact, because at first I was kind of thinking it would just be a smaller group and I would be able to give multiple baskets, maybe even like one for each nurse. And then I found out how many nurses or how many people were affected and how many people I would be able to help. So I ended up being able to expand my numbers, and then now I can reach a lot more people.
That is wonderful. That really, really is wonderful. Why did you want to do that when so many people were either staying away, afraid to go, or even the politicization of the entire piece? Why did you say, you know what, I don't care about all that. I need to show them how much I appreciate what they're doing?
Well, I think that a lot of times people kind of take it for granted and they don't really appreciate all the things that they do because they work such long shifts and they're always working for other people. So I think it's important that the community takes time to appreciate them because they're always helping us, so we should thank them.
And I know they appreciate the appreciation, mm-hmm. because much of what they've done seems to be thankless. And I thank you for doing that. Is this something that you want to carry on? Do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be a first responder once you graduate?
I do want to go into nursing. I want to be a pediatric nurse, and I'm also getting my EMT license right now. So hopefully I can do that in college and then work my way up to being a nurse.
I think you're going to work your way up just fine, honey.
Thank you.
Just fine. You are very welcome. Thank you, Avery.
Thank you.
Aiden Lathrop, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing good. Good. So I want to know more about your class project as it relates to SCLA, what you did, why you did it, and what's next.
Absolutely. So my project is called Smart Cart. It's focused on teaching basic nutrition to sixth grade students over at the middle school nearby, which is Altona, just about 2 or 3 minutes away. And I really wanted to start this project strictly because of my own dietary habits, I guess. I discovered healthy eating as I started football freshman year of high school, and it's really transformed a lot for me. It's made me feel a lot better in school, on the field. It's improved my lifting progress and so on. So I wanted kids to have the opportunity to learn about how to construct meals that are better for them, to improve their own feelings of happiness or decrease stress as school environments get a lot harder.
Nutrition is everything, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's what I've learned the last few years.
Mm-hmm. So what was the hardest thing for you to not give up, but to realize that's in moderation?
Well, I work at Cold Stone Creamery, so I'm surrounded by, probably the most challenging things. And that was very hard for me.
So how do you talk yourself in? Because I absolutely know. I mean, after a while, you're probably like, okay, it's old hat. Yeah, I know I work at Cold Stone. But in the beginning.
People would come up to me and they'd ask, what does this taste like? What does this go well with? And I couldn't even give them answers because I had stopped myself and shielded myself from actually eating it.
Yeah, no question. So do you ever have, I was listening to one of the podcasts from The Rock, and he was talking about, Sundays are his cheat day. It's pasta and it's burgers and it's potatoes and French fries and, ice cream. He loves ice cream, but other than that, he is religious nutrition Monday through Saturday.
Yep.
Nope, you are straight clean. There you go.
Yeah, my cheat meal was once a week, and then it became once a month. Now it's probably once every 2 months. It's kind of become a habit to just, eat as I normally do.
Right. So as it relates to your project, what's the hardest part about getting sixth graders to recognize the importance of nutrition?
I think that's definitely something I struggled with in the beginning. At first, I was debating going into elementary schools, but my instructor, Ms. Adams, brought up a really great point, which is nutrition is more of a valuable decision for sixth graders to make versus elementary schoolers, where their parents are more than likely making their meals every day. So I thought middle schoolers are transitioning into that stage where they're starting to bring their own food to school and make their own food at home. Maybe they eat separate dinner times in their family, or even just eating out. I'm going to try to do a lesson on, you're going to lunch, what kind of healthy options you can find at a lot of the places around school.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. You're right. I mean, little kids, their parents are fixing, but to your point, as you get in the 6th and, you know, even the 5th grade, you're eating and doing your own thing a lot of times. And your parents are paying for it at that point, you're right, but you need to make those better decisions. And do they receive that message well, or do they kind of, I mean, how do you talk them into that?
I'm thinking about making an interactive section of my lesson. So part of it's going to be a presentation. The other half is going to be bringing food in. I was cleared to bring food in. So try to make it a little more fun, less feeling like they're just going through another class period, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to sound like you're lecturing. If I'm talking food, show them the food you're talking about.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Well, thank you. That sounds very good, because we need it. No question. Good job.
All right, thank you.
I get stressed out when I have a lot of homework and then I have to go to work at night.
I get stressed out from trying to balance homework and my job.
I get stressed out when my teachers give me more homework. I get stressed out when I have multiple overdue assignments.
Hi, and my name's Sammie Lenski, and I'm here to help you reduce your stress this year.
Through sources of strength.
Through martial arts.
Through yoga.
Through virtual reality.
Through art.
And through monthly videos that teach students how to incorporate the Sources of Strength wheel into their lives. Good mental health is a must, and due to the pandemic, we must take action on achieving good mental health in students now. I am so excited to be able to help the student body achieve stress relief and betterment of their mental health through my project, Creek Strong.
Hi, Sammie. Wow. So Sources of Strength. Tell me all about it, of what led you to this project, and was there an event or just an aha moment that made you want to pursue this?
So Sources of Strength is a great organization and kind of club that we have at our school. It promotes like student wellness and teaches students different aspects of this wheel that we have on how to find strength in their life. So like family support, positive friends, and stuff like that. So anyway, I joined Sources of Strength and went to one of their peer trainings last year during COVID. And I just love the energy that was given off during the training, you know. It was just so welcoming, you know, everybody was just so happy, and I really enjoyed that. So due to COVID, a lot of students were suffering from like decreased mental health. So I thought that was an important issue that needed to be addressed. So I thought Sources of Strength, which was focusing on that and also addressing that issue, was going to be a great opportunity for me in my project.
Outstanding. And so Creek Strong, how are you helping students, and what are the events that are happening now to help them with their stress levels, which are at a probably amazing high right now?
I know, yeah. But yeah, so I'm creating monthly videos discussing the different aspects of the wheel. So right now, my monthly video is on generosity, where I'm going to be teaching students about why it's important and good for your mental health to, you know, give back to your community. So like it provides you a sense of purpose and stuff like that. So I thought that was very important. And then also I'm going to be hosting events like second semester, like yoga classes at Soul 19, which is a local studio in Longmont, kickboxing classes that students can go to for free and, you know, try new ways to reduce their stress. Because some people reduce their stress through physical stuff of like beating something up, or some people do it through, you know, breathing exercises and yoga.
Outstanding. There's so many ways to reduce that. And you tell me a little bit more about the wheel. So how did you come to find the wheel?
Yeah, so Sources of Strength like heavily promotes the wheel because that's pretty much their whole campaign. So I came across this when I went to the peer training, and they told us how we can find these different aspects in our lives. So yeah, I mean, I just thought each aspect helped reduce your stress and better your mental health in some way. So like with positive friends, it's important to be able to, you know, have those friends to talk to when you're feeling down and stuff like that. So
see, and that you're never alone, and there's so many things that you can do to relieve those stress levels, and just getting outdoors or that gratitude. So is super important, and it just a positive attitude is so important. So did you have a mentor that helped you with your project?
Well, in the planning and kind of like coming up with the idea, I mostly talked to my parents. But when it came to the actual execution, my mentors are currently 2 of the school counselors that we have. One of them is the school interventionist, and the other one is my personal school guidance counselor, Ms. Myers, Ms. Gorr. So, and they're both the leaders of the Sources of Strength committee that we have at our school.
That is so awesome. So what is your proudest moment or proudest takeaway from your project?
I feel just being able to help my fellow peers, you know. I think stress has really affected me throughout my high school career, and I can only imagine how many other students are feeling that same way. So I think being given the opportunity to address that in such an impactful way and given like the funding and the support to do that is absolutely amazing. And it just makes me so proud to be able to help my school in that way.
Oh, I love that. And you're changing lives and you're supporting others. And these students, teachers, they will not forget that. So wonderful work. And I'm super proud of you with your project and just wonderful. Great job.
My name is Joe Looney, and my capstone project is game design at St. Vrain. A school's job is to give you the resources you require for discovering where your passions are and what you might want to do in the future. You can learn about numerous types of art like pottery, 2D design, drawing, crafts, and more. You can learn about film, photography, and music, but for whatever reason, game design doesn't exactly make the cut. I really can't think of a reason why this may be. Video games are a culmination of all things artistic like sound design, music, 2D and 3D art, and more. Video games are often referred to as the most complex form of media simply because of how much effort needs to be put in to make them, and yet schools don't teach game design. I'm going to be teaching an after-school class for middle schoolers with the goal of giving them the resources to be confident in making their own games by themselves. I aim to teach them what they'll actually need to know and, hopefully, give them the passion they need to keep making their own games and express themselves through game design.
Hello there, Joe Looney. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am fine. Tell me about what you've been working on for SCLA.
Well, I've been working on a game design class for middle schoolers that I'm hopefully going to be teaching at the Innovation Center with the goal of getting the middle schoolers to a point where they can create games all by themselves without me having to tell them what to do or the internet having to tell them what to do, where they have the resources to just do what they'd like to.
So is this a different kind of take on coding, or is this, because I'm assuming you're talking about games on computer?
Yeah, like video games. Well, there will be coding involved, of course, but that's actually a pretty big misconception with video game design. Coding's probably like 5 or 10% of the entire thing. There's so much more that goes into it, like different types of art, 2D art, 3D art, there's sound design, there's music that goes with it and how it plays all in with your games. And there's just a lot you can learn there, more than just programming, which, still does make up quite a bit of it.
But still, no, that is good. That's good to know. That's also good to just have that in your, your repertoire, your bags of tricks, so to speak, as we, delve into the 21st century even more. What drew you to that?
Well, it's something I've been interested in for the past 7 or 8 years when I was first introduced to coding, and I'd always loved video games. So it just sort of worked hand in hand. And I think it was Miss Adams that recommended the idea of teaching a class. And in between the time when she recommended it and the start of the school year, I taught a class on game design at the Innovation Center. And I hated every second of it because we weren't teaching what they actually needed to know. We were just sort of throwing free resources at them that they could find for free on the internet. And with my class, I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to actually teach them something they can use.
Wow. And so out of that was born something more in depth as opposed to giving them something that they really couldn't use.
Yeah.
No, that is absolutely wonderful. So that is your forte. So really, in essence, you're like the tech guy.
Sure.
No, it's way more. Just want to say no, Gloria. It's way more intense than that.
You can see it like that.
There's much more under my hood than just being the tech guy. Tell me about what drives you, what drove you there. So if we're looking at, you had that experience, that's great, that's wonderful. Most people would have just taken that experience and say, okay, that was a waste of money and time. I'm not doing that. But you said, you know what? I'm going to take what they did and say, I'm going to unpackage it and I'm going to make this better. Mm-hmm. Why do you care?
Well, I care because it's always something I've wanted to do and learn more about.
and I've just had to use like crappy internet tutorials the whole time, you know, YouTube videos, websites with outdated, just outdated everything, you know, nothing really connected. You would have to go to so many different places to learn just the basics of what you wanted to know, and even then it felt like you were missing things, and I really wanted to group that all up into a class where they could just ask me questions instead of putting it on some weird forum where they may not get the right answer, and really have the feedback like teacher-student where they can just learn what they need to know and figure out what they need to figure out in the moment rather than asking a question, waiting, you know, days.
You are removing obstacles. That is a very lofty goal. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Michela Rodriguez, and my project is called Ni una sola rosa olvidada. Since I moved to the United States, I've been able to witness discrimination towards immigrants and the lack of opportunity for several minorities. I have been working at Chipotle for over a year now, and I've had the opportunity to hear stories from my coworkers about their experiences with coming to the United States. Many of these women have a dream, which is to take control of their lives and build a future for themselves, but don't know what first steps to take. This is one of the main reasons why I'm working on this project. The goal is to empower Hispanic women in the process of becoming their own bosses by creating a How to Start Your Own Business class and offering it to them in Spanish.
Michela Rodriguez, it is so wonderful to meet you face to face. I will tell you, I saw your name, and I'm very big on getting the pronunciation of names correctly. And I thought, who is this person with 3 names? I gotta meet her. This is wonderful.
Thank you. I don't know. It's 2 last names, and like most people get confused by that, but I don't know.
You know what? Don't worry about most people. Keep going with your Michela Rodriguez.
Well, this time was way better. Thank you.
No, we are trying, definitely. So tell me about your project.
All right. So with my project, I intend to empower Hispanic women in business by creating and giving them a How to Start Your Own Business class, and like in Spanish. That's basically it.
Yeah, do you find that there is a huge disconnect between how to start businesses and speaking to Spanish-speaking women? Because it can be very intimidating coming to a country and not speaking the language, but yet you want to start a business and you're not sure if you can do that because you're not sure of your language skills.
Yes, definitely. I worked at Chipotle for over a year, and I've just heard many different stories of like Hispanic women like coming to the United States and just wanting to be their own bosses, wanting to do something more for the world, but they just don't know how to like do it really or how to start. So like, for example, some people like want to start like food trucks and stuff, and they just don't know how, like just because one, the language barrier, to what is business, you know? So I don't know. I just want to be able to be there for them because I understand the change in like language while moving here. I moved here like 3.5 years ago, and I understand how impactful can that be.
Right. Very, very challenging, no question. And so this drive and passion to help Hispanic women and to be there for them in this business setting, I'm going to dig a little deeper in you. You say you really, really saw, you know how that can be. Where does that come from? What have you experienced that said, this is where I want to help?
All right. So I have been really passionate about business since I was young. I have created a bunch of like little businesses on my own while growing up. And I just always found like a beauty onto that. And I don't know, coming here, I saw a bunch of like inequality because of like language barriers and like women and stuff. They're a minority, you know? So, and I am part of that. That's me, that's who I am, my culture and everything. So I just want to be able to help people that relate to me. And also my mom as well. My mom is like this creative like person, and she always liked like starting like her own little entrepreneurship stuff. And it's so cute like how she wants to like sell like Peruvian like mattresses and stuff like that. I'm like, what? But it's her ideas, and I love it, and I love that for her. And she doesn't have a problem with starting things, but I have noticed by talking to people that they just don't feel 100% sure about themselves just because they don't have that language skill that it's like kind of like required here, you know? So I don't know. I just want to be able to be there for them as I'm part of the culture and I understand what they're going through.
I hear you, and I so appreciate what you are doing because you're right. Now we need about 800,000 more of you to step in because it is a need, and because I think small businesses and quite frankly women-owned businesses, especially Black and Brown, need the most help. But the small businesses are the engines of our economy.
Exactly. I totally
really
agree.
are.
Yeah, definitely.
They really are. Thank you, Michela. This is great.
Yeah, of course. I love it, so.
You should, and it comes through. It comes through like you love it, which is great.
The SCLA ambassadors have always been an important part of Silver Creek's community. My name is Paige Massey, and I'm the SCLA Ambassador President this year. Coming out of the pandemic, our main focus this year is to get our feeling of community back at Silver Creek and in the SCLA program. We started up our summer freshman retreat again and plan to continue with projects that will create a stronger sense of community throughout the rest of the year.
Paige Massey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing all right as well. So tell me about your project this year.
This year I'm the SCLA Ambassador President.
Wow. How's that been?
It's been good. It's been kind of weird getting back into a normal school year.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting you bring that up, a normal school year. I mean, you know, we use air quotes because what's normal these days. But how was it from before? And I'm trying to word this because I know COVID has changed so much, and getting back into it, it's almost like it's a muscle that you've got to retrain all over again. What's been the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part maybe has just been doing everything at school instead of like at WebEx on Zoom or something, because we've kind of found maybe people don't show up as much as they do when they can just go on their phone.
That is true. Or, you know, they can check out. I know one of the things that they're starting to do now for a lot of jobs is they want everybody to turn their camera on just so at least for a portion of the time, just so we can see faces and feel some form of connectivity. Did you struggle with that, having the disconnection between people?
Yeah, that was definitely something I noticed last year and a little bit of the year before. And that's kind of why I wanted to be the president this year, to kind of try to bring everything back to normal and like get that sense of community back at the school.
Yeah. Yeah, that sense of community. And has that been the hardest part, or do you think people just kind of fell in line because they missed that in-person interaction?
I'd say a little bit of both, probably. I think the people who were involved or something before, you know, like the upperclassmen have kind of just fallen back into what they did before, but definitely the newer kids, like the freshmen and the sophomores, who had like a weird year, it's been kind of difficult getting them to go to things.
I bet. What has been your takeaway as far as learning? In other words, what have you learned about serving in this role during this very unique time in history?
I think I've learned to maybe be more understanding for the people that I'm kind of leading. You know, when they say they can't make something, I think maybe before COVID I would have been like, oh, you kind of just have to make it. But now I'm more like, yeah, I get it. You know, like.
Yeah, having that compassion, I think, really does translate. So what is your next after high school? Are you going to college? Are you going abroad? Are you going right into the workplace? What do you want to do?
I'm really interested in this program. It's a university, and I'd spend 2 years in France and then 2 years in the US and get a degree. So that's my goal. That'd be really fun.
Well, and speaking of France, what part of France and what did you learn? So I'm assuming you've already been there 2 years, or you will be there 2 years.
You will be there for 2 years.
And so what is exciting about that for you, and what do you hope to gain from that? That is a phenomenal experience, by the way.
Yeah, I think it'd just be incredible being in an environment that I'm just completely uncomfortable in. You know, I've found even this year being back in normal school, it's kind of, you know, uncomfortable having to get back into things. And I feel like you learn a lot more when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, you do. When you're forced to stretch, you need to get it. No question. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your project. I think you're going to be great.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Let's face it, the Earth is in trouble. The millions of tons of trash created every year, wasted food, and unrecycled plastic are turning the Earth into a place that animals and humans have a hard time living in. And it's not going to get any better. I am personally not okay with it. I'm passionate about the Earth, and I want it to last, which is why everybody needs to do their part and help the Earth remain sustainable. My project, Denim to Dwellings, has partnered up with Blue Jeans Go Green to try to reduce the waste from textiles and reuse old jeans. This organization turns old cotton jeans into insulation for houses, which reduces not only the production of insulation, but also trash from jeans. So, will you help me today and donate to my cause of bettering the environment of the Earth?
Hi, my name is Sean McFarland, and my project is Denim to Dwellings, where I'm collecting old 100% cotton jeans, and I'm giving them to an organization called Blue Jeans Go Green, where they turn the jeans into insulation, and then they give them to homes.
Okay, so what was that born out of? Taking blue jeans and turning them into insulation? That's not like your everyday project.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to kind of conserve and kind of repurpose stuff. That's why I kind of found it a really cool organization. But Miss Kohn, she told me about this organization. I was struggling a bit, kind of find a thing to go with. I was trying to do some music, then I was trying to do some composting, but I found about this organization. I had really stuck with it, and I kind of thought about the idea of repurposing jeans as a really cool way to just I guess apply myself.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I would definitely say so. Now, if you can do that, what do you think, where do you want this to go? Because see, what's getting me with as soon as you said blue jeans into insulation, and I'm sure that there's so many different things that are born out of just the ingenuity and the time that we've all had to kind of collect ourselves and to think about what we wanted to do. But where does that come from?
You mean like where's the idea of just repurposing the jeans?
The idea of repurposing jeans and turning them into insulation, that is great, wonderful. That doesn't necessarily surprise me. What surprises me pleasantly, by the way, is someone who is last year of high school saying, you know what, that is a worthwhile cause, and I want to be a part of that and go forward. That's why I'm asking you, where does that come from? That's not a normal run-of-the-mill project.
Well, ever since I was little, I live in Colorado, and the environment out here is beautiful. And kind of over the last few years, the environment in other places and a little bit here has kind of gone downhill. And so I think that recycling stuff and reusing stuff is a really good way to do our part for the environment and try to keep it to being beautiful. And so I found out about this organization, and I'm really passionate about the environment. And so I kind of want to do my part for the environment.
Do you think that that'll be a part of your legacy as you head into your next chapter, the environment?
Well, I'm thinking of being a musician, but I definitely want to put that forth that I'm definitely an environmentalist. I took like environmental science last year. That was my first choice for an AP class, and I really care about the environment. And so I definitely would apply myself and try to bring that forth is that's my opinion that the environment needs to be prioritized. So I think that would definitely be part of my life.
So the musician piece has also piqued my interest. So which instrument do you play?
I play the banjo, actually.
Oh, do you?
Uh-huh.
And who taught you that?
His name is Chris Elliott. He goes by C. Bob Elliott. I grew up with bluegrass music, which is old. It's not like this newer music with like pop and sound effects, you know, but it's kind of old school stuff. And old school is also the environment, I feel like, you know, and just like the instruments come from the earth. And so I feel like the environment needs to be there for kind of that kind of music.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There is a connection. I remember seeing grandparents take nothing and turn it into an instrument. You're playing on a washboard, you're playing on, you know, with 2 wooden sticks, you're playing on, you know, something that used to carry grain and you turn it into a drum. So all of those things are repurposed. So, well, I think you were going to be extremely successful, Sean. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
What are some ways to be kind to one another?
Like write them a kind note unexpectedly. Help them with their homework or something. You can ask how you can help. Don't say it's okay and do something nice to them. Give anybody a hug.
Ryleigh O'Donnell, tell me about your class project.
Yeah, so my project is called Mental Focus, and once a week I go into a 2nd grade classroom at Blue Mountain Elementary School, and I teach them the lessons for a program called In Focus, which is a social and emotional program. And so I kind of just teach kids more about how to do social interactions, how to express their emotions. I talk to them about bullying, prevention behaviors, and a little bit more about how to be kind to each other and themselves.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that right now kids are having a tough time being kind to one another?
Yes, I feel like I had a job over the summer where I worked with kids, and being unable to communicate with each other as much as they used to be, I feel like a few are really struggling with figuring out how to deal with social interactions, especially among kids their own age, because they've kind of lacked that.
Right. Right. No, and how has your experience shown you that this lack of patience and lack of compassion for one another, how has that led into bullying?
I feel like not understanding kind of how to have compassion for others or how to have empathy makes a lot of kids have a hard time understanding other situations. And so it kind of leads to a little bit more bullying because they don't really know how to work well with one another or just understand where the other person's coming from, like how to step into their shoes kind of. And that kind of leads to a few more bullying.
Right. It does. Now, what was this born out of for you? I mean, there are a gazillion things you could have chosen, but you chose this. Why?
Yeah, so as a kid, I always felt like I had a very hard time expressing my emotions, and I had a hard time working with other kids my own age. I just wasn't great at being social. It made me really anxious, and I just had a lot of other anxiety. And so when I found out about this program, I knew immediately that I wanted to work with these kids and kind of give them these skills that they can use for their future that I felt like I lacked a little bit.
That is awesome. Do you think that is something that you'll want to do in your professional career for the next chapter in your life?
Yeah, so I'd love to go to college to study psychology and neuroscience, and then I want to take that and work with, as a school psychologist and work with elementary students.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You're awesome, right?
Thank you.
Andrew Patel, talk to me a little bit about your project.
Yeah, my project is Outdoor Odyssey. It's a legacy project started by Miles Ennis, and it's really working with underserved kids in the communities. Like, I'm working with the I Have a Dream Foundation to go and give those students an opportunity to get outdoors. Implied by the name Outdoor Odyssey, I want to teach them outdoor ed, like teach them about cool animals or things like that. And then eventually bring them out to state parks like Rocky Mountain or a little like local parks and hikes to really be able to get them out into the environment and then get them to have that firsthand experience.
You know what is so very important as what you were saying, I'm very familiar with the organization that you speak of, and so many times children, especially children of color, Black children and Latino and Asia, I mean, you name them, when you start talking about kids who have been underserved, they don't spend a lot of time in the outdoors, and raising that, really raising them to that, raising their consciousness about the importance of outdoors, trees and such. What has that done for you? What has that made you feel in being that conduit for them?
It's felt really amazing. Like, I've had one class with them so far, and growing up, like, the wilderness and the outdoors have been a huge impact on my life. I was in Boy Scouts. I would go skiing every weekend. I would go on hikes every weekend. Like, these little things that really affected me and really shaped me into who I am today. And being able to introduce it to them feels really amazing. Because I actually did a survey last time with the kids, and I was like, who's ever been to like a park? Who's ever been to a hike? And half of them raised their hand, and it was pretty large group of students. And I was like, I need to change this. And I was really glad to see that I can influence them in that way.
Good deal. Well, there is a group that I know very well. It's called Outdoor Afro. And they are just very, very serious. But not only getting Black children outside and outdoors and hiking and biking and camping and, you know, but adults, Black adults, because a lot of times what happens in childhood just continues on into adulthood. And what you are doing is so, so very important. So you grew up with that. That's something that you love. Is it going to be something that you continue to work as you get older?
Oh, for sure. It's one of those things that once you experience it, it will never leave you. And that's what I really hope to plant that seed in these kids, because it's not only an amazing experience for me, but it's a release. And I want to give them that opportunity.
That is good. Well, I wish you all the best. You are definitely someone who didn't talk fast during this interview, and you will be just fine.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
David Pritchard, now I understand you have a special skill. Before we get to the project, tell me a little bit about your instrument.
Great. So I actually started out on the clarinet in 6th grade, and I heard the jazz band play. It was only of 7th and 8th graders. And I said, you know what? I really want to be in that. So the summer between my 6th and 7th grade, I learned the saxophone. And I fell in love with it. I've been playing ever since. And yeah, it's just been my life's passion, and it's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So,
well, saxophone is not an easy instrument to play, but I hear you are pretty doggone good.
Oh, well, thank you. I've been around. I've played with some really amazing people and had some really great experiences, and just trying to express myself through the horn.
Well, you know what? I am glad you are. For all of those like myself who love jazz and just pure music enthusiast, it is so encouraging to hear that you are playing this instrument and absolutely love it. So tell me about your project.
Right, so my project stems from that exact passion of playing music. I remember when I was younger, I was part of a project that dealt with, more individualized practice on how to improvise. And to me, improvisation is such an important part of music because it's the most raw form of expression. And I remember gaining the tools to be able to improvise at that young age in middle school. And I feel like that was the building block for me to progress and, be able to really feel like music is the best thing in the world. So my project focuses on that. I'm teaching these after-school classes of improv classes, and I'm just giving kids the tools that they need to express themselves through music. And it's been great.
No, I'm sure it has. Do you find that when programs like music were cut in, whether it was elementary school or middle school, that it really did students a disservice?
Absolutely, yeah, and especially during this pandemic, a lot of kids have just kind of felt the lack of excitement to practice, to play music, just because, they don't have the resources to do it on their own. So when everything's kind of coming back to normal, it's kind of disheartening to see how that part of the society, of this like educational society, got lost. And I kind of want to share that importance with a lot of middle schoolers today through my project.
Right, and so with that project, you've been so successful. Music is always going to be a part of your life. Will this project go with you into adulthood?
Oh, I hope so, for sure. I always want to be inspiring the next generation. It excites me to see people progress and make music and feel the same joy that I feel, that I felt because of these years of experience. I love to see that in other people. And so I'm hoping that through my project, I can see that for years to come through many more generations.
Well, I will tell you, I look forward to hearing you play. So I have written your name down, David Pritchard. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have always been very passionate about fashion and the way you can express yourself with it. I want to give everyone that opportunity to express themselves, no matter their socioeconomic background, style, career, or gender identity. But there are two problems when addressing this. 1, sustainability, and 2, cost. The fashion industry is filled with problems, being the second largest polluter in the world and having some of the most unfair and exploitative working conditions. Not to mention us, the consumers, and how we treat our clothes. 1 in 2 people throw away their clothes and continue to purchase from exploitative fast fashion companies. With Fashion Forward, I seek to solve these problems by tackling the issues of the fashion industry with more sustainable, affordable, and inclusive options. With this project, I will create fun and inviting events for people to shop clothes that have been donated and given a new life. Anyone and everyone is welcome because everyone should be able to express themselves and have access to do so.
Good evening. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good. So tell me about your project. Why that particular project and why did you like it so much?
Yeah, so actually, one of the big deciding factors for me coming to Silver Creek in general was the Capstone project here. And I just fell in love with it, and immediately I had this idea in my head. I had it from one of the previous projects, actually, Cinderella's Closet. I was really inspired by it, and I just wanted to continue something similar to that and build upon it. And I worked 4 years to get to this point. I was very excited, always wanted to do this project, so I'm very happy to be here now.
Well, I am glad you are here as well. And let me be clear. So the name of your project is Cinderella's Closet?
No, I'm working on Fashion Forward. So it's basically I take in donations from the public and encourage people to donate their used clothes. And then I take those used clothes and give them a new life, make them look pretty, and then I put them in an event where people can come and shop like it's a regular store, but it's all for free, no questions asked.
Oh my gosh, that is outstanding. No, that is really, really good. Have you had found that it's been difficult to get people to drop stuff off that has been gently used, or what do you think?
So far it's gone pretty well, actually. I've been pleasantly surprised. Like, I've had a donation box here in school and promoted it on social media, and I've gotten quite a few donations already.
That is outstanding. It really is. So why that? What in you said, you know what? I want to do that. That can affect some change. That can make people feel better. No questions asked. We don't want people to feel embarrassed. Why did you choose that?
Yeah, well, I've always been really passionate about fashion, and from a really young age, I had very low self-confidence, and I really found a love for fashion, and it really gave me the self-confidence I was looking for. I really found a way to express myself, and I wanted to give that to everyone else too, no matter their background or how they identify. So, yeah.
So inclusivity, but in another way.
Yes.
That is very, very special. Do you think that's something that you will continue into the years after high school? So in other words, this particular realm of what you were doing, this project, when you say, you know, fashion forward, is that going to be something you carry forward?
Yes, it is actually something I'm very passionate about, and I plan to study design in college, so I hope to further that beyond my high school career.
Well, you have got a bright future, honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sam Reed, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me why the project you chose, why you chose it.
Yeah, so basically I've been in volunteer groups since freshman year. I've been in SCLA, and then I was also in a community organization called Lions Leo Club. And so volunteering, it's just, I really like helping people, and I love the service aspect of these groups that I'm in. And so my project, Creek of Hope, I'm raising money and also collecting donations for Hope for Longmont, which is a homeless outreach organization. So I have done one event so far, if you would like to hear about that.
Oh my gosh, yes, I would love to.
Yeah. So I did a sleep out. It's a virtual sleep out where people, it was like a big sleepover, but virtual. So everyone slept on their floor or outside to raise awareness, and then donated money, and we made about $400.
Wow.
So that was really good.
Wow, that's really good. That's very good. You know, that is really good. If I'm thinking, okay, that is something that's really special. Sam, what resonated about this project that said, you know what, this is mine, I want to do this?
So last year, junior year, I worked with Hope for Longmont for my mini capstone, and so we did a small donation drive for them, and I really loved working with them. And also, due to COVID-19, homelessness in the U.S. has been increasing, especially evictions and stuff. And so I didn't really see much support going to help these people, so I wanted to help in any way that I can, and Hope seemed like a great organization to work with.
Well, I tell you, what is your next, Sam, as you think about all the things that you have seen, what you've experienced, and what you want to do next after high school? What is your next as it relates to this project?
So after high school, I would like to continue doing service work. I think like just volunteering in general whenever I can. I do hope to go to college and hopefully do projects there if I have time, you know, besides working on my major. But yeah, I think that doing volunteer work on the side would be great.
Well, it certainly has rounded you out beautifully because, as you say, Sam, you really, it is about giving back, and it is about receiving those gifts, those blessings as you give back, even though that's not why you do it, but it has, it certainly has awakened the beauty in you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Belief, a habit of mind in which trust or confidence is placed. My project will help raise funds for the kids of Belief Home Orphanage in Ghana, Africa, for their medical needs. I am so excited to help raise money for this group of wonderful kids. Just like every other kid, they want to laugh, play, smile, and have fun. But sometimes, health issues can get in the way with that. But medicine is the way to help. I have also kicked off my project by having a wonderful first event. Seeing all the kids smile because of the craft bags that we created was the most wonderful thing. I could not have asked for a better first event. Believe in Ghana, a project where medicine creates better futures.
Vera Schmutz, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. So tell me a little bit about you and all the years you've been in high school. I know it's only 4, but it seems like probably forever. Tell me about you.
Definitely. So I've been in SCLA since I was a freshman, and I've went through this leadership journey, and it's been amazing. It's helped me in all areas of my life. I've been a swimmer for 4 years here at the school. I really enjoy that. That's something I hope to carry forward. And I am a swim instructor for the city of Longmont.
Yeah. No, that sounds, I mean, wow, that's enough. I need a nap. Just
Yeah, I like keeping myself busy.
Yeah, that is really good. So you love to swim. I learned how to swim later in life. So I have only been swimming for about 5 years now. But I will tell you, there is no other exercise like swimming.
Yeah, it's never too late to learn.
So tell me about your project there. What about your project, Vera?
Okay, so my project is Believe in Ghana, as I'm sure you know. I'm raising money for a orphanage in Ghana, Africa, for the kids' medical needs. And kind of what inspired this was my love for medicine and also my love for kids. My plan after college and kind of after high school is to become a pediatric nurse. So that's where that passion came from. And I was actually going to go to Ghana on a trip before COVID to visit the orphanage and work with the nurse there. So that's kind of what inspired the whole thing.
Well, I will push you a little bit on this because you say your love for kids. You also talk about becoming a pediatric nurse. I would venture to say there are a ton of places here in this country who could certainly benefit from that. Why Ghana and why that orphanage?
So Miss Adams has a strong connection with Carrie, the director at Believe Home. And I just felt a big connection from the moment that I decided I was going on that trip, and I was so excited for it, and I wanted to, help the kids. And Miss Adams, you know, brought this need, my attention to this need my junior year. And she's like, I think this would be an amazing project for you because you are passionate about kids and Mandy needs money for medicine. So, you know, what better thing than this to be your project? And I really just attached to that idea and ran with it.
Oh, wow. I like Miss Adams too. She's special.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is amazing. No, that is beautiful. It really does speak volumes about the kind of person, whether you are just coming into adulthood or even a full-fledged adult some years later. It speaks volumes about the kind of person you are right now and the kind of person that you will become. That is a deep sense of caring, if you ask me. You talk about the passion, but what drives you there? I know Carrie is phenomenal, or Miss Adams. I know that you have this, I want to help, but it goes much deeper than that, to reach halfway across the world and say, you know what, I'm going to help them. Tell me where that comes from.
I think that comes from a place of, you know, just empathy for how medicine can help people, because it's helped me when I was a kid. I went through a long journey of diagnosis and a lot of nurses helping me. I'm epileptic and I also have learning disabilities. So that was a big part of my life when I was younger, and I strive to, you know, make kids feel as good as the nurses that I worked with or that worked with me made me feel. So like medicine can do wonders for a kid's well-being. And I think that the connection that I felt with those kids even before, you know, knowing that I was going to go on this trip and then Miss Adams making me aware of the need, I think that I just felt that empathy and I just, you know, cared enough to take that step to help these kids out.
You are one heck of a leader, young lady. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Emily. Good morning. It's great to see you today. Can you tell me what was your inspiration for starting your capstone project?
Yeah, for sure. So animals have been like a huge part of my life forever. I was always a really shy kid, so I felt like I was able to connect with animals really well, and I always say that they give me like a confidence in my voice, and I feel like I owe a lot to animals.
So, and your project is really teaching kids how to be safe around animals and be comfortable. Can you tell me a little bit more about what skills you provide to make that happen?
Yeah, for sure. So within my blogs, I'm doing posts on things such as how to read animal behavior. So looking at how they communicate through their body language and reading different little signs which can often go unnoticed, as well as how to greet your animals and how to pet them for the first time and how to care for them and all these amazing things that kids need to learn from day one.
Wonderful. And you are working with an organization. Can you tell me a little bit more about that organization?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm an intern at the Left Hand Animal Hospital, which is a local veterinary clinic in Niwot. And they are a fear-free clinic, which they try to reduce as much fear, stress, and anxiety in the animals as possible and try to make veterinary visits as great and as fun for the animals as possible. So yeah.
Awesome. It sounds like your experience with them was just wonderful.
Yes, it's so much fun. I absolutely love it there.
Awesome. And how is this, what knowledge have you taken away from this project?
Yeah, for sure. So I have learned so much about veterinary medicine in general. That's a field I'm really interested in. So I'm excited that I got to learn about different diseases and just how they treat animals and everything, as well as in how the techniques they use when they're working with them and how they read different things and all that amazing stuff. And I've also learned how to reach a community through a blog. So yeah, it's been really great.
Awesome. And do you have any events coming up or highlights that are coming up that you would like to mention about your project?
So I don't really have exact events or anything like that, but I'm posting every single week on my blog. So make sure you check that out. And I'm also going to be going into elementary school second semester and teaching during their late starts about how to read animal behavior and just simple little things for them to start picking up.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know those are great steps towards that learning, and it'll help them with that safety of animals. What are you most proud of with your project?
I'm really proud of the amount I've done inside the internship in general. I spent quite a lot of hours there, and I've gotten so many opportunities to go into appointments and talk to people and watch surgeries and all these amazing things. And my knowledge just is ever growing about like veterinary medicine and medicine in general. So I'm really happy about that.
Awesome. And what is your grade? Was there ever an instant with a kid or with a student that really made you super proud that you chose this project?
So I haven't actually gone into classrooms yet. That's
okay.
Semester. But I have got a few little feedback things from the kids that I have given the blog to, and they said they really enjoyed it and they've learned a lot from it. So that made me feel really great.
Awesome. So definitely check out your blog because it's got a lot of information and your love for animals. Do you have your own animals?
Yes, I have a little puppy named Hazel.
Hazel, oh, I love it. Well, we just don't deserve animals, do we? They're just wonderful. So, well, the last thing that I wanted to ask you about is if another student took over your capstone project next year, do you have any advice you would give them?
Yeah, for sure. I think the best thing is to just really keep going on the blogs and making sure that you're posting very like every single week at like a specific time so people can actually like know when to look out for them, and making sure that you're putting out flyers and just getting the word out as much as possible about your blogs to get some more community outreach for it.
Did you have any VTO or volunteer time that you spent at the clinic, or can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So every single Monday, I spend 2 to 3 hours at the clinic, and I go into appointments and chat at the vet, as well as do some learning tasks, learning about different diseases and how they treat them. And then I also get to like hold the animals while they're and like feed them while they're getting like taken care of with different procedures. And I also like clean and help out there. So it's been an amazing experience.
But you are so awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, and great job on your project. I'm looking forward to learning more and getting into your blog. So thank you, Emily. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Sam. It's great to meet you. Can you tell me a little bit more about your capstone project?
Yeah, so I'm going over to the Colorado Therapeutic Writing Center and setting up events there within our school, just the NHS and the freshman SCLA, trying to get more volunteers over there because during COVID, they lost a lot of their volunteer base, and that kind of set them back as far as what they're able to do and the kids they're able to serve. So
Outstanding. And this therapeutic writing, it creates life-enhancing benefits, nurturing spirits and souls. Were you able to see that firsthand, Sam?
absolutely. Yeah, since my sophomore year, actually, I've been working with centers like the Colorado Therapeutic Writing Center, and it's just amazing the kind of physical and mental growth that they can have through a relationship with the horse and through the riding itself.
Awesome. And how often did you visit the center, or what events did you have around that?
I was in Future Farmers of America my sophomore year. So we would go down there about once a week and help them clean up around the facility and just help them with the horses and whatever else they needed.
Wonderful. And did you see an increase of the number of volunteers you were able to get?
We have gotten 4 more with the 2 freshman classes that I've taken so far.
Outstanding. That is wonderful. And it looks like you gained a lot of knowledge and experience doing this. What is your biggest takeaway from your project?
My biggest takeaway is just like, if you can find a goal and just find a way to help people, there are so many different ways to help people. So like, I like working with horses, and I also like working with special needs kids. So this was just like the perfect project for me. And there's a project out there for everybody.
Oh, that's great. And can you elaborate just a little bit on what was the life event or that led to your choosing of this capstone project?
I've been around horses my whole life, and I've also had a connection to special needs people just within my family. So I was just able to get involved in it my sophomore year. I saw the work that the center down there, which was the Hearth Foundation, was doing. And then I moved up here and was able to get involved in SCLA. And this was just a really cool project that I was able to be a part of and come up with.
Well, I love your passion, and I know you've changed lives by doing this. If another student at Silver Creek continues this project on, what advice would you give to them?
I would just say, talk to as many freshmen and sophomores as possible, because that's really the base that they have the most free time. Once you get into junior and senior year, they're thinking about college and all these different AP classes, but freshmen and sophomores have a little bit more free time. So
that would be awesome. Awesome. And then I know this project is going to bring such value to others because it's going to support the center. Can you tell me just a little bit more about the organization that you worked with?
Yes, ma'am. So the Colorado Therapeutic Writing Center is in Longmont, and their goal is just to help as many people with special needs or different disabilities as they can and help them recover physically and mentally. So they have 2 different kinds of classes, one where they're riding a horse, and a horse's gait is very similar to a human's gait. So it can help teach them to walk better and like just help their body relearn how to do that. And then the other classes where they're sitting down with a therapist and a horse and just like building a relationship with the horse.
That makes me just feel at ease. I love horses and I love animals. They're just amazing. And I know the work that they do with kids, adults, the whole population, really, it helps them to gain courage and less fear and move forward, and it changes lives. So I just want to thank you for your project, Sam, and great work you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maggie Shrader, and my project is Creek for Mexico. My inspiration for my project is my older brother Charlie, who did a similar project to Madagascar. I'll be partnering with El Niño Rey. They go on educational and dental missions to Mexico and give out scholarships. The main part of my project will be supplying the organization with a mini pediatric clinic, which includes a dental chair, a doctor's chair, lights, and tools. I will be able to see my project in action when I travel with them to Mexico in February. I chose to do this project because I want to go into the medical field when I'm older. This will also allow me to have a new cultural experience while still helping those in need. Thank you for watching and supporting my project, Creek for Mexico, and the organization El Niño Rey.
Maggie Shrader, your senior year.
Yes, it's exciting.
I know it is exciting. So tell me about your project.
So my project is called Creek for Mexico, and I am raising money for a nonprofit called El Niño Rey, based out of my old school in Chicago, and I'm raising money for them basically to have like a little pediatric dental like equipment set up for their mission for Mexico, because they do a lot of dental work there. So I'm getting like a chair, a light, and like a chair for the doctors to sit on, and the equipment for all the kids so the doctors can do what they do.
Oh,
and I'm also
awesome.
Yeah. And I'm also heading there in early February, so it should be super exciting.
So will you take the materials, all of the stuff you've gathered down, or is that just in addition to what's already down there, you're just going to, talk with them, meet with them, be with them?
So if I can get all my money on time, the plan is to take those chairs and everything down there, and it will go along with everything else they already have. Yeah.
No, that is great. So when you look at all of the projects and all of the things that you could have done, you decided on this. Why? Because I know you said this was your old school coming from Chicago and then here, but why this project? Why this organization?
Well, first off, it was really easy because we already had like ties into them, which was very helpful. And I also really want to go into the medical field, so I thought helping kids through medicine would be very beneficial for me. And I get to go down there and see them in action, which I think is...
Yeah, you actually get to see
Yeah.
how what you were doing is making a difference.
Yes.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, as you go into this next chapter, and you just said it, this is something that you really want to go into. Where's that inspiration come from?
Honestly, I just really like my anatomy and bio classes, and I think they're super interesting, so that's all really. I don't know.
No, that's good. So you did really good dissecting that frog.
Yes, we just dissected a sheep brain in anatomy, and it was cool, but I have to say it was a little disgusting. I don't know.
I'm like, oh my gosh. But I think it is great. I love to watch those kinds of shows, the Learning Channel, the Smithsonian, all of those channels, HGTV. I love that, building things and seeing things, animals, how they are.
Yeah.
But I get a little squeamish, when it comes to the dissecting, and when I see a spider walk, that jacks me up.
A spider?
A spider jacks me up. I'm just saying, something about all 8 of those legs moving, that just jacks me all the way up. But I'm absolutely glad you were doing what you were doing, because it's going to make a difference.
Thank you.
Since the pandemic began, mental health has been in decline. 62% of Americans have felt more anxiety since 2019, and that number is only increasing. School is especially stressful on students who have to adapt to the stressful system from the isolation of their homes. My name is Rain Sidwell, and I run Stress Free Me. Stress Free Me offers multiple ways for students to manage their stress with monthly stress-free activities such as art therapy and crafts.
Rain, tell me about your project.
Well, with the pandemic, it's kind of made clear how important self-care and managing your stress levels are. So I made something called Stress Free Me. And Its goal is to hold a monthly activity to help students find several different ways to help them manage their stress levels. Because I've seen a lot of stuff like that in the college levels, like they have therapy dogs walking all around campus during finals week, but there's nothing at the high school level, so I wanted to change that.
Good for you. What has been the most stressful for you throughout this last year?
Probably trying to figure out what is going to be the most relaxing for people.
I hear you, because it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. So I have to have like a whole variety of activities.
And those activities consist of?
Our first event was Zen Tangles. I don't know if you know what those are. It's just kind of doodles where you do like pattern drawing. They're really fun. We're hoping to do also aromatherapy, Play-Doh, meditation, and fingers crossed, if we're lucky, we'll have some therapy dogs.
Wow. And that is so good, especially therapy dogs. I love dogs anyway, but they just, dogs just take us to another place. Mm-hmm. And so accepting of just who we are, regardless of your pronoun, whether it's she, they, them, he, it matters that you are accepted and you are perfect just as is.
Exactly.
As is. And so what about this particular project, and you said it, stress-free me, if it was that easy, how have you been able to take what you know to be true and translate that so other people can also apply it in their lives?
Well, I personally have struggled with my own mental health. I have plenty of friends who also struggle with their mental health. We all chat a lot. A lot of us go to therapy. So I'm not really going to say experience, but I know a lot of the circumstances that a variety of people go through. And usually they stem from the same things. And it's kind of made me realize how many people go through it, whether or not they realize it. And I think they should get a chance to kind of just wind down and take a step back and allow themselves to relax in a very stressful environment.
Well, it takes courage to stand up in front of the world and say, you know what? Therapy is a good thing. If you can do that, then other people will follow your lead. That is leadership. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Well, good morning, Callie. I'm so excited to hear more about your Pennies for Paws. And can you tell me what led to your project?
So when I was a young kid, maybe like 6 or 8, my dad was working at a veterinary clinic and he would always bring me in. And I always bonded with animals and I've always grown up with animals. So I guess my love and passion for animals and just caring for them really stemmed from there. And ever since then, I've pursued science, and right now, like interning at the Pet Menders Boulder Animal Hospital has been like really nice.
Wonderful. And so how did you support this organization through your project?
I'm trying to raise funds for the Angel Fund, which is a foundation that helps low-income patients pay for pet care that they can't afford. They also have a Piper Memorial Foundation, but that's a privately owned visit that's supporting them through there. So, yeah.
Wonderful. And as we all know, man, vet care is rising as we're talking, and it's just so expensive for families. And a lot of times they just can't. So if a family was experiencing this, not able to take care of their pet or get them the services that they need, how does this organization help them?
So with the Piper Memorial Foundation, you'll have to put in a lot of documentation that you are on food stamps, such as like food stamps and proof of like address, I think. And then, but with the Angel Fund, you don't have to be extremely low income. You can just apply and they'll put funds where they see fit.
Oh, I love that. So what is your biggest or proudest moment with your project?
So there was this little orange cat. His name was Calamari.
Oh,
Came in,
okay.
I know, my first surgery that I experienced, and I was holding him during the surgery. And when he woke up in my arms, and it was just this surreal moment because I had known that I truly helped care for this animal, and it meant a lot to me, and it's completely changed me after that experience.
Do you think you'll go on to study veterinary care or medicine?
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to pursue my dad's footsteps.
Oh my gosh. And do you have any animals at home yourself?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs, Ollie and Violet, and my own cute little kitten. Her name is Akina. She's a little Maine Coon cat. She's really feisty, and I love her.
And did you have any obstacles that you feel like you were able to resolve or move forward with, maybe due to COVID or anything that you can reflect on for us?
I think it's been a little more challenging kind of fundraising. Initially, I wanted to maybe do bake sales to help fundraise, or like possibly maybe at home dog treats that I would sell and or host like different events for, I guess.
Sure.
And since due to COVID, we can't do food products and everything like that. So yeah, fundraising is really difficult.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you found a way, and you're resilient and strong, and this project will continue to help animals. Do you have any events or things coming up to enhance your project, or?
Yeah, so tomorrow, December 4th, is going to be the ugly sweater fun run, and I'm going to be setting a booth there and taking donations and kind of setting up as a dog care station. I'll have dog treats and like dog water bowls and everything.
See, you're still taking care of those animals and loving that. Well, I just hear your passion, and I love your love of animals, and so great work on your project. Thank you so much.
When people think of karate, Bruce Lee or crane kicks are what first come to mind. And although much less flashy, I think the entirety of karate can be boiled down to one thing: repetition. Because there's never a perfect punch, but no matter how many times a karateka fails at perfection, they'll do it over again anyways. Kick Through It provides free karate classes for elementary and middle school students. I take those values of growth mindset, grit, and repetition and teach them through the medium of karate.
Tell me about your project.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Kick Through It, and I provide free karate classes for middle and elementary school students that focus on the values of growth mindset.
So it's called Kick Through It?
Yes.
I love that. So, okay, now you have to admit that is really, really unique. Where does that come from?
So I've been in martial arts for my entire life, and more specifically, I got serious with it around 7 years ago. And I feel like the values of growth mindset are already baked so deep into the martial art itself. And then I got to SCLA in grade 11, and that was part of our curriculum, and I learned it, and I'm like, yes, this is amazing, but I got to live it, and that influenced my life in every aspect in so many ways, and I want other kids to have that experience, to live the growth mindset, to learn those values through experience instead of a curriculum.
Oh, wow. No, that is outstanding. And it also ties in with self-defense. It ties in with self-defense even with young girls going into womanhood. It is so important to be able to defend yourself.
100% yes.
But it also helps you deal with stress.
That's definitely where it came from for me, because like the idea of growth mindset, the idea of like it's okay if you mess up, it's okay if you fail, but you gotta keep going through it. I mean, that's definitely present in karate, but I've found myself using it most in like school when I have to navigate relationships in my life. And
Yeah.
that really does help in dealing with stress and like negative emotions.
Isn't it amazing how you start something thinking one thing and you find out that it applies to almost every other aspect of your life to help groom you and get you ready for whatever the universe says your next will be.
Exactly. And it's like incredible how cross applicable the skills that I've learned are. And I want to share that.
Outstanding. So do you think this is something that you will take into that next chapter? And if you don't mind me asking, what do you think your next chapter will be like? Will you go to college? Will you study abroad? Will you just want to get into the workforce? What do you want to do?
I definitely am going to go to post-secondary education, so college somewhere. And I do plan on continuing karate throughout. I mean, it's just like such a part of me now. It'll feel so weird to like let it go and not have that consistent like presence. But yeah, definitely college for now.
Well, I wish you well and keep doing what you need to do to stay with karate, because that realm of not only physical fitness, but that stress release, it is so extremely important now. Our mental health is so challenged every day. So kudos to you.
Yes, thank you so much for your time.
You are very welcome. Yours too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, JJ. So you must have a love of animals. So that is pretty evident. Can you tell me, do you have any animals of your own?
Yes. So I've always been around animals ever since I was young. We used to live up in a ranch in, not Colorado Springs, sorry, up in Kremling, up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, when we moved to Longmont, my dad started training dogs. And so we have a kennel, 3 of dogs, and then we also raise rabbits for 4-H.
Sweet. So what event or what aha moment led you to your project?
So going into my capstone project, I knew I obviously wanted to work with animals in some capacity. So my first thought was doing like a shadowing intern opportunity. And so I looked into organizations where they had opportunities for that, where I would intern at a business and shadow one of the people there and just see how they did that and then build my capstone around that. And then due to COVID, that kind of fell through a little bit. So then I had to rework with Greenwood, the place that I was originally supposed to intern with. And so I just kind of reworked my project a little bit to where it was more so on me and individually working with them. And that's what led me to building the squirrel nest boxes and doing the donation drive, was just that shift from interning and working with animals to just working with animals in a more individual style.
See, sometimes a problem can turn into such a great opportunity. So tell me more about these squirrels. What are squirrel nest boxes?
Yeah. So Greenwood is obviously a wildlife rehab center. And so one of the things they do is they take in animals that people find out in the community injured, and they'll rehab them at their indoor facilities. And so for the winter, they wanted me to build nest boxes, both indoor and outdoor, to house these squirrels, just because they don't have enough hands at the facilities themselves to build these. So they outsource it to the community. And so they gave me boxes to build. And so I had to build 5 outdoor nest boxes and 5 indoor. The ones for the injured squirrels, the indoor boxes for the injured squirrels in their facilities, and the outdoor ones to home the ones that can be housed outdoors.
Oh, so these are actual injured animals that people call or bring to the facility, and then they rehabilitate them. Oh my gosh, did you have an animal in particular that you has helped save their lives or help or?
Not as of yet. It was more so just like where I just went where they needed me to go and just had them help me with what they needed. And it was the squirrel boxes in that moment. So that's where kind of the direction my project led.
Outstanding. And can you tell me more about your, with the Greenwood Rehab Center? Did you have a mentor or did you work just directly with that center?
So it was originally going to be a shadowing opportunity. And so I discussed with the volunteer liaison there. Her name was Claudia. And so I was emailing with her trying to figure that out. And we just decided it wouldn't really work out. So she remained my liaison for Greenwood. And just over email, we kind of work out the details while I work individually on the donation drive for the Nest Box part of it. So like I don't work person to person with the rehab center, but I do have a liaison with them.
Outstanding. And so by building these boxes, do you think it'll be carried forward and more boxes will be built due to your idea or your?
That would be quite nice. I don't know for sure. I don't know if something
I would love that.
But it would be nice, yeah.
Outstanding. Well, it sounds like you gained a lot of knowledge and resilience, and you're going to save animals' lives, and that to me is just an awesome project. Well, super proud of you. And if you did have another student like that was going to carry this on next year, would you have any advice for them?
I would say definitely always be willing to reach out to the organization. And just if you have questions, discuss with them, see what they can give you to help. Just because if you have any questions, you don't really want to tackle it alone since your project has an actual impact on the wildlife itself. You don't want to kind of just go into it without knowing all the details. So if there's anything that you're confused about, reach out to the program and make sure you have everything concrete before you go into it.
All right. Well, I love your project and I'm super proud of you. So great work helping animals and these squirrels. I just love that. So great work.
Tanner Stevens, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me about your project.
Yeah, of course. So my project is Raptor TV, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filming the sports, performing arts, plays, various activities, including the unified sports activities just around Creek. And I love playing sports. I played sports for Creek all 4 years, and I actually play viola in the orchestra, and I really enjoy just going back to that YouTube channel and just watching those replays of me playing. It's just like memories, so I can show my kids. And I really appreciate the people that did it for me, so I just want to keep improving it. So I've been working on improving with different angles and different streams and just trying to improve this YouTube channel, Creek.
So did you say you played viola?
I do play viola, yeah.
Oh, wow. Now that is very unique. How did you get involved in that?
In middle school, my parents just wanted me to play, and I love it. I enjoy it. It's a really good outlet for me. So I've just kept up with it and finished high school.
No, that is great. And so marrying those two, you talk about sports, you say you played your entire, youth, from a time you were a little kid all the way until now. So let me guess, basketball?
No, I actually don't play basketball. I play football.
You play football?
Yeah, football and
track.
Position?
What's your position?
I'm tight end and outside linebacker.
Oh, honey, hush. I know about those. Okay. So yeah, that's important real estate you got to cover. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's important. And so no swimming?
No.
No.
I don't swim.
It's all football.
It's all football.
No, that's all good. I think it is outstanding. I really, really do. I am so glad that you were tuned into that and that you're taking that love and that passion and marrying it to something that you want to do. Do you think you'll continue to do this after high school?
I'd love to keep the program going. I'd love to keep it for future classes so it can just keep going for everyone to enjoy it. So I'd love to help.
What have you learned the most from, or give me one thing that you've learned from your project that you did not know going in?
I just didn't know how many behind the scenes there were of just all these sports like that. Working with the athletic director, it's amazing what he does for the school and all the time and effort that they put in. So I really just appreciate that now, just planning everything and being able to attend those events.
So it sounds like you might be doing something in the sports photography, sports journalism, sports, something in that world.
Might be. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it is good. You are an inspiration. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, what's your name?
Bailey Casella.
Ethan Newby. Brian Walker Aaron Newby.
Hope. Atticus Finn.
Atticus, why do you like sports?
Because I think they're really fun and I don't want to play them really seriously.
Because I'm with Atticus.
Because sports is so much fun. Because I like it when I have entertainment.
Because we work together as a team in sports.
To hang with my friends.
Brian, what does unified mean to you?
Unified means Special Olympics.
Unified means like you could play for real, no practicing.
Now, when I asked the students what unified meant to them, they got confused and discombobulated and didn't really know what to say. So I decided that I would share with you guys and them what unified means to me.
To me, unified is so much more than getting a passing grade or looking good on college applications. Unified is connections. Unified is a feeling of belonging and friendship. Unified has become a family for these individuals and for me as well. Being a part of teaching these students lessons and laughter has changed my life forever. Being able to incorporate sports into the process of getting to know these athletes for all that they are is such an incredible thing. And that's why my capstone project, Silver Creek Unites, is such an important and necessary project for the Silver Creek and St. Vrain Valley community.
We love Silver Creek Unites.
Mia Van Leeuwen, you are here and you have worked on a class project. Tell me about it.
So my project is called Silver Creek Unites, and basically I'm working with the special education community at Silver Creek High School, and I'm working with the athletics portion of it. So I'm just working on enhancing the overall program and just making it better for the kids overall because they need it and it needs enhancing, and I think the whole district needs it as well, and I love it. It's so fun.
So wait a minute. So when you say, I know it's Silver Creek Unites, and when you say working with them from the athletic standpoint, what are some of the things you're doing?
So we are working on 3 seasons this year. We're doing a basketball season. We are finishing up our bowling season, and we have state on this Friday. And then we are also doing a track and field season. So basically we're just getting all the kids together and they're working together and we're teaching them a bunch of stuff and it's awesome.
That is good. Now, how old are the kids?
The kids are our age. They're like 17. They range from 17 to I think 14.
Yeah. And so what's the reward for you? How does that make you feel?
Well, I've been involved in the program since my freshman year and I love kids with special needs. They like make my heart happy, and my mom's a special educator as well. So I just love working with them, and I think they bring so much to our world and everything that they just give you a different outlook on life, and I love it.
Oh, no, that is great. You say it gives you a different outlook on life. What is the one thing, just give me one thing that has made you think about, you know what I'm going through is not so bad. What have you learned, that one thing?
It's honestly sports. Like when I'm thinking about sports, I'm being tough on myself when I don't have a good game or a good performance. And then I just think back and I'm like, I'm so blessed that I get to be able to do this and just share it with people.
Well, it is something that I suspect, it sounds like you might take it into your next chapter.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I think I want to be a special educator.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
We need you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mia.
Thank you so much.
all started with a presentation and a spark in my mind. When I first heard about the psychological effects of technology addiction, I was fascinated. I started doing my own research outside of class, and I created a website that would change my high school experience. I had my screen time limited to less than an hour a day, and I was starting to talk to my friends about their screen time habits. My name is Shenandoah Waugh, and my senior capstone project is Technical Balance, bringing balance to life on and off the screen. This year, my interactive presentations have helped me educate teenagers about the effects of technology usage while helping me understand how my peers feel about their screen time. To further understand their screen time habits, I am having students track their screen time. I have also expanded and developed my website to be more professional and accessible. Next semester, I will host screen time workshops to discuss the effects of technology and reduce screen time among students. Technical Balance, bringing balance to life on and off the screen.
Shenandoah Waugh, hello there.
Hello.
So I want to know about your project.
My project is called Technical Balance, and that's a name I came up with, I think in my freshman year. I heard a presentation about technology addiction in my freshman health class, and I was really interested in what I was learning about. So I did my own research kind of outside of class, and then I kind of created a website, and I needed a good name for it. And something that I was seeing a lot in my research was finding a good balance between using technology and being off of technology. So there's a lot of good things about technology, but also not the best things about technology. But I thought it was really important to emphasize that balance, and that's where I kind of came up with that name, Technical Balance.
You know, that is actually, that's really good. Have you found, Shenandoah, that it really has become an addiction?
Yeah, a lot of people experience symptoms of addiction using their technology. It's been compared to gambling, to drug use, even just to other kinds of technology, so a gaming addiction or a social media addiction, that kind of thing. And it's really a new thing that people haven't really put a lot of research into quite yet, because it's still a very new part of society being on technology this much.
Your project, has it helped you to better understand what the issues are? And will that go into adulthood once you leave high school? Because what I am seeing and what we have even heard in our workplace, it has not been, we are addicted. I mean, the TV will be on and folks will still be on their phones, or, you know, you've got an iPad in your lap and you're still looking at your phone, but you've got a movie, people in theaters. I mean, it is everywhere. Folks walking across the street. We just had to deal with something, not too long ago, where a person was walking across the street and on their phone getting struck by a car. How will your project help in those kinds of situations?
Well, a big part of my project is educating other people about these effects. So I've kind of done my own research already since my freshman year. And this year I really want to start educating teenagers, because they're the ones who are on their phones all the time. They're the ones who are starting to really have those negative side effects of that addiction. And so I'm really trying to educate people. I've been into 5 health classes as of today, those freshman year health classes, just like I was in my freshman year. And then I've done 2 intro to psychology classes as well. And just trying to educate these young people who are on their phones about those negative side effects, and just not telling them to, throw their phones in the trash can on the way out, but just to be aware of the effects of their technology addiction, be aware of what their technology is doing to kind of make them stay on their phones more, and just be aware of those and be able to kind of limit them when they need to.
That balance doesn't mean everything in moderation.
Exactly, yeah.
Shenandoah, thank you. That is a great project. It really is.
Yeah, thank you.
In the U.S., there are more than 25,000 lions, tigers, bears, and other large carnivores captive in basements, backyards, and other unnatural places. Fighting this captive wildlife crisis, the Wild Animal Sanctuary works behind the scenes to rehabilitate and provide natural, wide-open, outdoor habitats for rescued wildlife. Right now, they need special animal beds that can withstand thousands of pounds of weight and long-term use from the animals. I'm Joshua Y, and I am working to gather materials to build and to deliver 5 animal beds through my project, Bunks for Bears.
Hi, Joshua. So I am so excited to hear about your project. Was there a life event or something that occurred to lead you to choose this project?
I think there was. Working with the Wild Animal Sanctuary might actually run in my family because my brother also did a project in 2019 supporting the Wild Animal Sanctuary as his Eagle project.
Oh, wonderful. And are you an Eagle Scout by chance?
I will be. I'm looking forward to, fingers crossed, my Court of Honor in May of 2022 for my Eagle Scout.
Wow, what a huge honor. I'm super proud of you. I know it takes a lot to become that. It's very amazing. So this is awesome. So tell me a little bit more about Bunks for Bears. What is that?
So my project, Bunks for Bears, is helping out at the Wild Animal Sanctuary by providing a special kind of bed for their large carnivores, especially their tigers, lions, bears.
Okay.
These beds are made of steel and they're welded together and they are pretty strong. So hopefully they'll last for years to come. And the bedding is made out of retired fire hose, one of the most durable materials for bedding. And so I'm gonna find the materials, build, and donate these beds to the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
So you're actually building them?
Yes, with the help of volunteers, yeah.
Okay, how many volunteers or how do you recruit your volunteers?
I have a few excellent networks that I can get volunteers through, especially at SCLA and through my Boy Scout troop. Also, in my family, I have some engineers who are into metalworking, and they've helped me along the way as far as getting the metal and going through the welding and a lot of different processes that are needed to help build the beds.
So not only are you going to support these big animals, you're also going to use parts that are, environmentally, like recycling them, correct? How did you come up with that idea?
It's actually both economical and also good for the environment. The steel is reclaimed from oil fields, and it's a common way of getting a large amount of steel pipe that's very structurally durable.
Okay.
And the fire hose is going to be donated by Colorado fire departments from their retired fire hose, as they need to cycle through new fire hose every several years. And hopefully I'll also be able to get some fire hose that was actually donated by my brother in 2019 that I found he had donated to the Wild Animal Sanctuary that they still have.
That is amazing. And so did you have a mentor, or did you just work directly with the Wild Animal Sanctuary?
I do. I sort of have 2 mentors. Both are workers at both are employed by the Wild Animal Sanctuary. Shout out to my mentors. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. And I of course, you're going to patent these, right? And move forward so that we can support animals even into the future. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway right now is going to be having something at the Animal Sanctuary that I can say I contributed that to the Animal Sanctuary. And I think that's going to be what my project leaves me with, and I'm going to be proud of that.
Oh, I'm super proud. You are amazing. That sounds just like an awesome, awesome deal. And I'll look forward to heading out to the Wild Animal Sanctuary and checking it out. So great job, Joshua.
Thank you for joining us on this very special night as we highlight our seniors, the class of 2022, and their capstone projects. What an amazing group of leaders, aren't they? We are so very, very proud of them and the difference they're making in our schools, in our communities, and around the world. Would you like to be part and help us and support our kids? Head on over to our website, silvercreekleadership.academy. Feel free to contact us and we'll get you in touch with the students you'd like to work with, or just find out more about how you can join our program and assist us. Thank you for joining us again, and have a great evening.